Welcome everyone to another episode of the Tree of Geek. You are joining us in the Tree Fort. It's a bit crammed in here. Why is it crammed in here on Season 2, Episode 5? When pixels met popcorn? I'm going to tell you why. Because it's not just the giant H train here, and that's not because of my weight issues. It's not just because the big sexy Josh is in here. No, we have another character that has decided to join us. I don't know if we invited him or if he just kicked the trapdoor open, but we have a subscriber, we have a brother, we have a friend, we have Jonathan. John, how are you doing this evening, buddy?
Wonderful.
Just wonderful?
That
doesn't sound like you're wonderful, man. Like, don't let his looks fool you that you can't see, folks. This dude is jazzed.
Ladies and gentlemen, we do not have him tied up in the corner. He is here by his own.
Hey, stop moving that duct tape. Stop it. So we're here to talk about what? Josh, what are we here to talk about this evening?
When Harry met Sally. Oh, wait a minute. No. When pixels met popcorn. What the heck is that about? We are looking at video game culture and the ones that made that big old leap to the big screen, be it TV or cinema. What worked, what didn't, and why. Now, keep in mind, most of this is all of our opinions, so if you disagree with it, go to treeofgeek.com, hit contact us, write in, or if you're on YouTube, right below this video, leave a comment and tell us why you disagree with us and what should have been on our lists.
Exactly what you said, word for word. I was going to say it, but I mean, you're just so eloquent in all these things.
And I was also told that I should put at the beginning and not the end. Like and subscribe if you're on YouTube, because apparently nobody ever makes it to the end. So if you're listening to this on YouTube, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. It will really, really help us out.
And I gotta say, before you can, this whole like, subscribe thing, I never really bought into any of that. Didn't know what all this even meant, but I'll tell you right now, the train is going uphill on YouTube. I don't know what happened, but we are getting a ton of amazing people that are giving us a listen. And to every single one of you, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It makes me so happy when I get up in the morning and I look and I go, oh man, 40 more people looked, 20 more people. Even if it was only 5 more people, it makes me very, very happy. So.
And the fact that the episode that just released, now keep in mind we do record a few weeks ahead, but the episode that just released got us 6 new followers or subscribers, I guess, in itself. And that alone
awesome
makes us feel like $1 million. John, can I call you John?
Sure.
Jonathan, John. Where do you listen? Spotify, iTunes,
iHeartRadio,
YouTube,
Spotify,
iHeartRadio. We're plugging them all.
It's easier to hear. It's easier to listen to it on Spotify.
All right, you heard it right there. If you're on Spotify, hit the thumbs up. If there is one, I honestly have no idea.
I don't think there is.
But enough of the self-plugging. Let's get into some fun stuff.
Well, I find it fun to self-plug. Had you go in there for a second. Yes, let's move on so this does not get off the rails. We don't fall out of a tree here. I did that once when I was a kid. In fact, no, I did it twice. Fractured both my wrists. But that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about geek culture. We always talk about what's new to us. I'm sorry, I'm Jones. I am happy right now. I need to keep the energy up.
This man
says we do better when I have energy.
This man hasn't even had a drink at all.
Oh, I have not. No, I'm starting actually a cleanse this month, so this is going to be fun. Woohoo! John.
In case for those who didn't listen, that's sarcasm.
Yes, sometimes it's dry and hard to tell.
Giggity.
Sort of like your personality. It doesn't matter. John, tell me, what is new as far as geek culture in your world?
In my world, I've been getting into more anime. One such, I know I'm going to butcher the name, Isekai. So it's basically a anime where the main character ends up dying in one lifetime and is reborn in another with like superpowers.
Is it like different superpowers every time? Or?
Every time, like different characters. Like one guy has a magic cell phone that makes him able to do anything. It's hilarious.
I want that.
Of course, the guy has like 15 wives, so it makes it even funny with that. I'm just like, I don't understand.
Now, he dies and he's born again. Does that mean like he's born as a child, or does he wake up as like a full-grown adult?
They end up showing like, and depends on the series. There's one where the guy comes back and he's like exactly how he died in his previous life, and there's like one where they're reborn, but they have all their memories from the previous life. So they basically can cheat and figure out like
cheat codes.
Now, is this a newer anime? Because I've never heard of this.
It's newer to me. I don't know if it's newer to the whole genre, but
I'll wait till the Netflix live action comes out, just like we did One Piece.
Well,
absolutely.
Shield Hero.
We'll do an episode on it 3 months later.
If you're gonna watch anything, watch Shield Hero. That's a good one.
Shield Hero. What is that, an episode or an arc? Or
It's a whole series. So Shield Hero Rising. It's actually a decent one.
Oh, okay.
Nice, nice. What else is going on for you? Anything?
Not really. Just really getting into that, finding out some really weird. I didn't realize how weird animes can really be, but some of them are actually mildly entertaining.
Some of them are very weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like I've said before on this podcast, I've never been a big anime guy, but I've watched a few like Death Note,
Alchemist.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I almost said Full Metal Jacket.
Good movie.
Appleseed.
A few other smaller ones, and some of them they're pretty far out there, but the ones I've seen have been pretty decent. I do know my boss said he just finished Attack on Titan. I guess the anime just wrapped up, and he didn't give me spoilers because he constantly tells me to watch it, but he said it was an incredibly satisfying finale. So maybe eventually I'll check that one out.
I'll put it on my list.
Yeah, my issue is like I'll be watching a series or I'm watching an episode, and it's always the episode where the wife comes in and there's potentially almost naked women on the screen. I swear to God, it doesn't normally happen. It just happens when you walk into the room.
Oh, John. So I got a couple comic books in the mail this week, and I've gotten on this kick where I've always tried to keep collecting full runs. If I collect one, I want to get one through the whole run if I can. And there was I think 5 or 6 issue run for X-23. You know who that is?
Yep.
Okay,
Is this the one from a couple years back?
if you didn't, you need to leave.
Oh, no.
No, it was Deadly Regeneration, I think it was, something like Deadly Regenesis, that's what it was. It was a fairly newer run, and of course, I'm going through them, I'm putting them in my boxes, I have them laying on the bed next to me while she's watching TV, she looks over, and there's X-23 in these skin-tight leather pants with a tiny, like the tiniest, tank top you've ever seen in your life, and she looked at me and said, "What is that?"
Artwork.
All I said was, "It's female Wolverine." And she's like, "I don't approve." I'm like, "Well, that's too bad. It's going in the box."
I just learned that Wolverine has another daughter.
Well, technically, Laura Kinney's not his daughter. It's a
True.
clone.
Yeah, I mean, what I'm saying is I was still surprised to see that, as many people that Wolverine has decided to bed, that he has, like, some other daughter. I think because they're doing this thing now where a bunch of different Wolverines are coming together from different universes. Yeah, some blonde girl.
I just read a comic series where like all of his kids that he didn't know about got together, like, and people manipulated him into like this brainwashed organization to try and kill Wolverine. He offs every single one of them, only to find out at the end of after he's killed them all that they were all his kids.
This is a good point to say spoilers.
Yes.
Yeah, he can cut it out. It's cool.
Well, yeah, I know, but we like to be kind to our listeners. Some people might have went, I was about to read the last episode, the last issue.
So it's been out for 2 years now. If you're not that, yeah.
Stop living underneath rocks. That's what we say. But
Still,
spoilers for anything that's video games turned into movies, movies into video games, maybe even a couple board games turned into movies or TV shows. There will be spoilers ahead.
Absolutely.
Anything new for you, Josh, other than what you've mentioned already?
In my geeky worldness? Yes, actually.
Why don't you give me a rundown?
So I finally sat down and watched The Marvels. Again, spoiler warning. I'm not going to give anything incredible away. All I'll say is that I give it a 6.5 out of 10 on my personal scale. It wasn't actually a horrible movie. The main villain could have absolutely been fleshed out a lot more. I have some personal opinions on that. We'll wait like 6 years to talk about it until people have seen it. However, the only thing I'll say is I was with it for the most part, and I was okay with the cheesy dialogue for the most part until they get to a planet where everybody sings to talk to each other.
That would
And they
get
don't
annoying.
even follow the rules all the way.
And
That would get annoying real
it wasn't even the fact, like, everybody's trying to say, oh, sexism stuff, it's an all-female cast. I don't know, I really don't care about that. But when they started singing to one another, it lost me. I have some other pet peeves about later on, some of the musical score choices. But for the most part, it was I'd say, fun movie to watch. I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it again.
Short and sweet.
It was very short. It was like an hour and a half, hour
I
and
think
40.
it's the shortest Marvel movie.
And my other thing, so a man that I work with is huge in the comic books. He's the one that showed me CLZ. It's that app that I can do inventory of my comics.
CLZ, Charlie Lima Zulu.
Yes.
Zangief. I was going to say Zangief. I don't know why.
So he's actually
That's
the
awesome.
creator of his own comic book series.
Oh, wait a minute. Well, I peeked into your notes, so I'm going to act surprised.
So his name is Eric Bennett, Bennett. I told him I was going to plug him. He's ecstatic at the fact that, at the time I said 20 people might hear it, but now YouTube's almost at 300 on one episode. So who knows? But he is very excited about getting plugged. And he is going to plug our podcast to all of his contacts in his comic book world, which
That's absolutely amazing.
that could be huge. So it's called Steel Wolf. It is a superhero comic book. I just got them in the mail today, so I have not had a chance to read through them. But everything he's told me about them, they sound outstanding. You can check it out yourself at indieplanet.com/steel-wolf.
I went there and I looked at the plot.
Did you get it? Did you get that link from my notes?
I did.
Did you?
I clicked on it from your actual notes. I did.
I will, on YouTube, I will put this link down in the description.
Because I kind of talked over it a little bit and I apologize.
Yes, he did.
Go ahead and say it again. Just to make it better. Go ahead and say it again.
It's indieplanet.com/steel-wolf. Indie is INDY and then planet.com. I'm excited.
It looks intriguing.
I ordered issue 0, issue 1, and I think there was issue 2. And then there was a couple like characters of issues that he made that they explain all the different characters, their backstories a little bit.
This guy's doing what I always wanted to do.
Well, so the thing is, when you order it, you can buy digital and get it instantly. Or you buy print and they print them off per order. So while that means that the rarity might never be there because you can print as many as you want, if they stop printing and hardly anybody bought them, the rarity's going to go up.
Yeah, there you go.
And I told him, I think what was it? 6, I think, books. I paid around $40 total with shipping. One, I'm supporting a coworker that I love it.
Buy local.
And I even told him flat out, even if I don't like the story, I support you. You are actually doing it. You're following your dream.
Listen, I don't like you and I'm still supporting this podcast. So
yeah, we don't like John and he's sitting right next to us.
I didn't invite him. Wasn't my choice.
So there you go. The Marvels, I give it a 6.5 out of 10. And Eric Bennett, the creator of Steel Wolf comic book, indieplanet.com/steel-wolf. It'll be in the comments, in the description below. Michael, what is going on for you?
Well, I'll breeze through this as best I can because we need to get to this video game stuff. But I got a list, man. I got a list, and I'll go real quick. First thing, I had a birthday recently, and somebody decided to bring me a birthday gift today. Somebody brought me a Star Trek The Next Generation Lieutenant Commander Data. That's right, after he was promoted. This little action figure is signed by Brent Spiner himself. I am absolutely jacked about this. It's awesome. Thank you so much for this. I love Data as a kid. I was wondering why you kept asking me over messaging, Data was your favorite, right? Data was your favorite, right?
Well, I was trying to be inconspicuous, and then I look back and I'm like, no, I was pretty obvious.
Yeah, so... No, I appreciate it. But speaking of Star Trek news, Section 31 has just started filming with Michelle Yeoh. I assume it's going to come out at the very end of this year or beginning of 2025. So there's some Star Trek news for you. Masters of the Universe, the second or third season of the cartoon just dropped. Not the important part. The important part is if you've ever seen the live action movie from the 80s like I did in the theaters, there's a little tiny guy called Gwildor, and he makes an appearance apparently in this cartoon, and he pretty much says the movie is canon and that it did take place in conjunction with the cartoon. Henry Cavill, Highlander. I watched Highlander so many times as a kid, over and over and over. And the fact that Henry Cavill,
the movie or the miniseries,
he's doing both.
Okay,
I watched both, but Henry Cavill being the new Highlander. I remember years ago it was supposed to be Ryan Reynolds. That would have been cool, but I'll go with Henry Cavill. I like Outlander. I think they're going to do like that type of thing, so it's going to be pretty kick-ass, I do believe. Thanksgiving and Night Swim. I watched Thanksgiving the other day. Out here for the horror fans. The new Eli Roth horror movie that dropped. It was amazing. I mean, it's paint by the numbers. You kind of see what's coming, but still has McDreamy in it. Pretty kick-ass. Night Swim was okay. It's about a swimming pool that doesn't always take you out at night. I'm not sure why it's called Night Swim. Daredevil. The new series coming out soon. They're bringing back Foggy Nelson. They're bringing back Karen. Punisher's supposed to possibly make an appearance. Jay Barenthal, said he's getting another of his own series. And apparently, there's some bit of canon from the previous TV shows that they're bringing in here. And Kristen Ritter just put some cryptic message on her
X,
Instagram, Twitter, whatever you call it, So there's this high possibility that she's going to be coming back. And obviously, D'Onofrio is going to be Kingpin in Daredevil Reborn or Born Again, something like that. I'm a fraud, so I don't know exactly what it's called. Lewis Pullman, son of Bill Pullman, from the movie Brain Dead I just watched yesterday. Anyway, Lewis Pullman was in Top Gun 2. That's right, the movie with Tom Cruise. It was amazing, John. Don't give me that look about Tom Cruise. The movie rocked. He was also in Bad Times at El Royale. Anyway, he not only was supposed to possibly be Sentry, he is, as far as I understand it, officially going to be Sentry as of this morning that I read. And the final piece of information that really isn't news, during the Predator episode, we were talking about some security being hired, but don't worry because all these badasses on set were not afraid of this guy. And I said that Jesse the Body Ventura was a Navy SEAL. Now, as a military man, I do not like to put my foot in my mouth. So I will say I did do my research because I got tipped off that I might have been incorrect. So I apologize. He was not a Navy SEAL. He did not finish his Navy SEAL training. However, he was a demo expert and he was in the Navy. So I just had a couple facts messed up, but I don't want to be spitting stuff to you guys that is wrong out there in listener land. That is my big spiel. Now we can get to the meat and the potatoes and the second helpings of this bad boy. What do you say, guys? You guys ready to roll?
Yeah, bring it on.
Okay. Wow. I mean, the excitement is just through the roof here. So I'm going to throw it over here to my main man, Josh. You can start this off because my mouth's a bit dry and I need a little sip.
All right. So like we said, we're doing When Pixels Met Popcorn, video games that have been turned into TV or movie extravaganzas. What worked, what didn't, why? Let's dive into it. I will say I think it's 5 total, 3 good, 2 bad, and 1 that I'm stuck on. I don't really know how I feel about it.
I didn't really write down ones that were bad. I wrote down the ones that I enjoyed.
Well,
That's what I did.
By bad, I just meant ones that I would have rather never been made. Because we said what worked, what didn't, but it's okay. And then at the end, I do have a little lightning round that we're going to go through. I'm going to name it off, and you guys are going to tell me if you thought it was good, bad, in between, what?
And after that, we're doing honorable mentions.
Of course.
Of stuff that didn't quite fit in this category, but is adjacent.
All right. So what we do here, John, is I'm going to go ahead and throw out my first one. If it's on either of your lists, you can chime in then and let me know like your thoughts on it.
Don't talk.
Otherwise, shut up. In good old me fashion, this show received an 8.8 out of 10 on IMDb.
Yeah, I did no ratings.
The game, I do all the ratings, you know that. The original game released in 2013. The game sequel came out in 2020, and the series came out in 2023. That's right, The Last of Us.
I just want to point out, just to make it clear for everybody once again, I'm not a huge video game guy. So I don't have a lot of the video game knowledge of when these came out or if they were good games and bad games, what really happens in the games. I'm a type of person, I'll say right now, that I don't get annoyed when things have been changed over because I never really played the games to begin with, most of them that will probably be on this list. So basically, when you looked at me and you gave me all these years of when they came out, I had no idea what the heck you were talking about.
No, I just thought you were annoyed because we tend to steal off each other's lists, it seems, even if we don't.
No.
I mean, you're the one that looked at mine, but still.
I want to make sure I was doing it right, and then I did it completely opposite.
All right, so this is on my good list. Personally, I thought The Last of Us was a fantastic television show. It followed the original game storyline incredibly well. All the way down, if you actually Google it, you can find some shot-for-shot remakes, game to show, like, beautifully done. The acting, I feel, was top tier. Pedro Pascal and Bella Ramsey obviously didn't phone it in. They're the only 2 I really cared about because they were the main people of the show. I just feel like their chemistry together on set, it was just incredible. It was believable that they had that emotional connection, and it made some of those more difficult scenes just that much more, again, emotional for the viewer, seeing them going through just, I mean, I know it's acting, I'm not stupid, but you watch them form this truly solid, like, father-daughter relationship, and as a father myself, it was pretty striking home, I gotta say.
What do you think, John? What's your take on The Last of Us?
I like the storyline. Big fan of Pedro Pascal.
How would you say it compares to the games? You said your son plays it. Shout out Malachi. He sent me him and Silas, your kids. semi-sweet birthday thing. So I appreciate it.
Which, by the way, they better be following us and subscribed on YouTube because I know they live on YouTube.
Dude, I had to tell them to tell him to say happy birthday.
Well,
Fair enough.
be that as it may. Okay, so you watch him play the games, and I'm sure that you've played them a little bit yourself. How does it compare? Do you think it lives up or exceeds or does not
Now,
compared to the game?
I haven't fully finished the series like on TV, but from what I'm watching from
What?
start, listen, you see, you
So we
know
got to
how
watch
my thing-
spoilers for our own co-host?
Listen, I'm perfectly good with spoilers, so everyone else. But either way, from what I'm seeing from the gameplay to show, I love it. Is you're right, it is following it pretty close. So, and I like what I'm seeing so far. So,
Right on, right
Okay.
on.
So I will say this without spoiling anything to anybody listening. The show ends almost exactly the same way the first game ended,
I did hear that.
which scares me because that means that there's really only room for one more season.
yep,
How do you feel about this?
I am dreading that.
And
season.
I will say if it follows the plot of the second game, there's gonna be a lot of really unhappy people out there. So we'll see.
Yeah,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I think what they're trying to do, I'm going to guess here, is avoid the Walking Dead trap. That show has been on for a long time. They're doing the spin-offs, and now we're getting a movie. It's been on forever. And I don't think that they want The Last of Us to go on forever. Otherwise, you're going to end up with a bunch of shows that nobody cares about.
But it's
Yeah.
not the last of them then. It's the
Yeah.
beginning of the Last of Us.
Yeah, it's like sort of like he was, but now he's more, and yeah, whatever.
And side note, Pedro Pascal should not be Mr. Fantastic. But I'm just
Keep harping on it. I know somebody's
Listen.
listening that's important.
he's done a very good job lately in like a lot of the films he's done. I wasn't really a big fan of like towards the beginning of when I was first noticed him. I think he can pull it off, but again, I'm 50-50, so
Can he pull it off? Yes, probably. Should he? I don't feel so. I just, in my own personal opinion,
John Krasinski.
John Krasinski would be the perfect Reed Richards, and Dr. Doom and Reed Richards are supposed to be the same age, which means we need another person in their late 50s.
Yeah.
I'm afraid they're gonna date the Fantastic Four too much, and it's gonna screw up the main dynamic of it, because this is supposed to be heroes in their prime, not geriatric Fantastic Four.
I mean, they've already destroyed Fantastic Four, so I mean, all they can do is go
Yes,
up. from
repeatedly.
there.
Why do we want to do it again?
Yeah,
I mean,
I
they've
don't-
only got
hey,
one
I already
direction.
harped and harped. That's why I'm kind of staying out of this. If they need to wait, they need to wait. But whatever. I'm going to talk about The Last of Us.
Please.
And I'm going to talk about how I thought the cast is phenomenal. And I think that the sets that were put together were great.
Oh,
The cinematography. There's an episode, I don't know if John's here or not, where there's a big giant battle in like a neighborhood that was towards the end that was amazing. I know that they've changed some of the characters from the games I've heard. I'm a big Offerman fan. I liked him in everything he's in. I know you and I, Josh, have talked about Aha and the Magicians,
Mhm.
that whole episode. But the one they did here with the two partners
Yeah.
was absolutely heartbreaking. I mean,
I believe it
I
was
don't care
episode
what
3.
anybody's view on any of that stuff is. Like, just pocket it. I don't care. This was a love story, and that I was not expecting. I was like, "What is this episode? Like, what's going on here?" I thought I was watching a Walking Dead type thing, because they bait you into thinking that's what this show is going to be, and then they just slap you over the head with this emotional punch. And I fucking loved it, man. I did. I loved it. I thought it was amazing acting. My heart felt it. And then the episode after, with they're finding the magazine in the back, that was hilarious, and they keep the endearment going through a joke form, and I thought that was just how they wove that in there was just fantastic. I think this is a win, and I love that the humans aren't always the monsters here. In this show, the monsters are legit the monsters. Like,
Oh,
there's
yeah.
some shitty people, but like the monster that was like up in I think they were like in a museum or something. He was upstairs. It was like one of the first clickers or whatever they call them.
Yeah.
You see, like that. Wow, just fantastic. I'm very, very happy to see season 2.
Well, and I love that it wasn't your classic zombie movie. No, it was a fungus that, it messes with the brain and takes over. Like, and there's all these studies that I was reading that it is, I mean, not to that extent, but with the, hotter climates, stuff like that, invasive fungi and stuff like that is
It's a far
it's
possibility.
a real.
But it is a possibility.
Well, there's some that actually they do that with much smaller organisms, but they're parasites. That's how they survive.
There's a
So
lot
for
of
them to
parasitic
make
stuff,
that
man.
jump to humans and not just go like, oh, it's a zombie virus, I loved it.
But speaking of zombie viruses, I'll throw us out real quick. I just read this morning as well that 28 Days Later 3, I'm not sure exactly what they're going to call it, with Cillian Murphy. No, I'm just killing. I'm killing you here. Cillian Murphy, because I've been saying that wrong too. He has said he's doing it. So
Was
bringing
it
part
28
back.
days later, 28 weeks later,
and
so
then 28 months later. I don't know.
years.
I was gonna say
Decades.
months,
Yeah,
years.
decades.
Yeah. So they're bringing that back.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Was it the first one or the second one where the guy leaves his wife to be
Second
like,
one.
torn apart?
It was the second
The
one. I
second
think.
one?
Yep.
Is it? That's not really a spoiler. That's like 5 minutes into the beginning.
Exactly.
Where he
like-
just chickens out. He leaves his wife and kid to save himself and runs. And I was so furious at
It's been
that.
very long since I saw him.
Which, by the way, we caught a little bit of flack from the Predator episode about when we were bashing The Mist. Apparently, some people, Steep, think that the ending was one of the best parts, and that makes the movie. And that just ticked me off. Not him.
You know what?
That
I'm
ending.
going to say something here, Steep. I'm going to say something real clear here. Listen to me. Thanks for listening. You're allowed to have your own opinion, and I'm glad that somebody else out there decides to speak up and say, you know what, you're wrong. I mean, I'm not wrong, but I mean, you can say it. It's fine. No, keep those comments coming, and I appreciate it.
All right, moving on. Who wants to jump in and
John, what do you got? What do you got on your list, buddy?
So the first one I have on my list, obviously, it's like one of the newer ones, the new Super Mario movie.
Does this count because it didn't go to live action, or does this count because it's still a
Hey,
theatrical release?
it is video game to movie theater?
And I followed that
Movie
rule.
Theater. Oh, now
Well,
we're adding the theater.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, don't
It went to
humans
cinema.
act in the theater? All right.
It
went
is
to
a
cinema.
full-length motion picture.
Okay.
It's
Well,
on my
so is
list.
Pokemon the movie.
Hey, it's on my list.
Okay. That's fine.
Tell us, what do you think about it?
So I actually gave it about a 6.5 myself. I liked it, but I didn't fall in love with it.
Am I giving ratings?
I mean, that's what I'm doing.
You
Yes,
don't
I'm going to have to give ratings.
You don't have
You
to.
go ahead.
10,
I'm-
10, 10. Everything's a 10. All right, go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Fine.
Go ahead.
So I love the storyline. I love the voice acting. The one thing I didn't like about it was Peach. I like the actress, but I don't feel that her voice worked for Peach.
Peaches, 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 peaches,
Listen,
peaches,
Jack
peaches,
Black was
peaches,
amazing.
peaches,
He had
peaches.
no-
I love you.
Listen, Anya Taylor-Joy,
Mm-mm.
Magic.
That's a hard pass.
she was perfect.
Yes.
What?
That's a hard pass.
Have you seen her in The Queen's Gambit?
Yes.
Have you seen her alive?
Saw her in the New Mutants, and I was
Yeah,
not a
Magic.
fan. I was not
That
a
wasn't her best role. It was good, but it wasn't her best role. You need to
Mhm.
get out there some more. I think she's a phenomenal actress. I really do.
and I'm not doubting that.
I thought
I'm
her
not a fan
voice
of
was
her.
perfect for this role.
Yeah.
I didn't even know it was her until I looked it up.
There's a horror movie she was in a couple years ago where she's like kind of with the Doctor Who guy, and you can't tell like who's the killer and who's not, who's chasing who. Can't think of the name of it right now. Emily and I watched it a couple months back, and it is fucking good.
I watched The Menu just because I like Ralph Fiennes.
Oh, what a movie that is!
I liked Ralph Fiennes. That's the only reason why I
Dude,
watched it.
that
'Cause I
is
thought
a-
it was good.
Fuck ton of amazing
A
movies.
freaking plus movie.
Yes, it was.
I went into it
A
not
cheeseburger, please.
so I
Go.
I went into it having no idea what it was about. My boss at work simply said, "Think modern day Willy Wonka meets." I forget what the other movie he said was, but yeah, it was
Slaughterhouse?
basically
Hannibal
that.
Lecter opened a restaurant. I don't
Saw.
know.
That's what it was. It was modern day Willy Wonka meets Saw, and I was like, "All right." It wasn't as much Saw,
Interesting take.
but if you're listening and you don't really know what The Menu was about, it's a completely fed up like gourmet chef just having his last hoorah, I guess. I mean, watch it. That's all I gotta say. Just watch it. It's so Anya Taylor-Joy is currently rated number 8 on IMDb. Just so you know,
Yeah, she's a number 2 for me.
what?
So yeah.
For acting?
that, I'm trying to find the movie that you. Yes, it is actress wise. Yeah, what movie?
I don't know. I can't think of it.
Dude, she was in Peaky Blinders too.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna watch
Season
this
2,
stupid
I
show.
think.
Every episode, this stupid show comes
Sam
up.
Neill from Jurassic Park is in season 1. Dude, Peaky Blinders is where it's at, homie.
The Menu, Amsterdam, Super Mario, Peaky Blinders, The Northman,
Ooh, that's
Last
a good
Night in
movie.
Soho.
That one.
That's it. Last Night in Soho.
She's good in The Norseman too. That's a weird ass movie, but it's good.
Never seen it.
Bloody as
Last Night in
fuck, dude.
Soho with
Oh,
Terrence Stamp.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Near before salt.
I'm gonna have to check it out. Okay, cool.
Let me get back on track though.
Yeah, so I also do have Mario on my list. It's a 7.7 out of 10 on IMDb. Because, I mean, maybe we'll get sponsored by IMDb, but they're owned by Amazon, so I really doubt it. Original game came out in 1985, which is an absolute staple of my childhood. The first movie attempt was in 1993, and the second was just in 2023, a solid 30 years later. All right, you told us you hate Anya Taylor-Joy's guts, so why did you like this movie?
I thought it had a lot of funny scenes. I mean, I'm Jack Black. I mean, come on. But storyline was good. It was funny. I mean, to me, I liked it. It kept my attention. I just wasn't a big fan of the female lead.
Didn't like the voice acting.
Yep.
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
You did not like her voice.
Yep.
Shrill old lady vibes. Just was it like a razor blade in your mind?
No, I'm just not.
Straight migraine, or
I'm just not a big fan of her. I mean, I imagine she does do great acting. I'm just not a fan of her. I'm not trying to bash her.
I'm not trying to rip into it. I'm just curious of what it was about it. You know, but
So, sorry, just real quick. Last Night in Soho was with Matt Smith. Is that the Doctor Who?
Yes.
I might actually watch it because I love Matt Smith and I love Anya Taylor-Joy. So this just went onto my list.
It's a good flick. It is a very good flick.
See, I thought it was a solid main cast. I mean, well, main voice cast, I guess. I thought the story was lighthearted, but it was also serious enough that kids could have fun as well as adults. I mean, you're watching the Rainbow Road scene, and my kids are just laughing, but they're kind of scared. And all I'm thinking is Mad Max the entire time.
Yep.
Like,
Oh, by the way, Mad Max Furiosa and Taylor-Joy is taking over the role. So I just want to point that out.
wait, no more Tom Hardy?
No, well, it's Hemsworth is in this one.
Oh, Liam or Chris?
Chris.
Thor?
Thor's in this
Okay.
one. I think it's a prequel.
Why do they do
sorts.
prequels?
I don't know why. I'm just saying she's playing Furiosa this time instead of the chick from
All right.
Alien Covenant, Prometheus. One of those movies.
Okay. All right.
Theron? Charlize Theron?
Oh, yeah. She's in Prometheus. She went to the school of running away from things who, she doesn't know how to zigzag and she gets run over.
Serpentine. Ka-chow. Is it my turn now to talk about?
Well, real quick, while we're on Mario, do we want to touch on the first movie attempt in 93?
I liked it as a kid the first time I saw it because I didn't know any better, but it's a hot mess of garbage.
I mean, it had a solid main cast.
I like Wazamo.
Yeah.
Only
the other
good thing
guy.
about the movie.
What?
Maybe that Peach. I like the girl who played Peach.
I don't even know who played Peach in the movie.
I know she was in that movie.
Yeah, Princess Toadstool.
Wasn't she like a hooker or something?
I don't remember much about that movie at all, other than didn't the bad guy have like white hair or something?
Yeah,
He had like weird
really
ribs on his head because he was part lizard.
Storyline's lost on me. It's been like years since I've seen it.
See.
Well, I think they improved.
Greatly, yes.
This did not make my list. I mean, it's a good movie. It's a good family movie. It is fun. It is enjoyable. I don't know if I could rewatch it. I don't know if there's a lot of replay value for me. The movie was kind of a blur. I kind of thought some of the laughter that was supposed to be there didn't show up for me. I thought some of the jokes are a little bit forced, like when Mario's trying to learn to jump at the beginning and his whole montage, his Rocky montage. I don't know. It seemed blasé to me. It's a little. I don't know. I thought it was going to be better than what it was, but it was definitely better than a lot of other movies that have been made that have tried this. So.
And Peach wasn't even in the first Mario. It was Daisy.
Oh, either way.
I don't know who that is.
Daisy was Luigi's princess, basically.
But
I mean,
so Luigi tried to get his own movie and they screwed it
But
up.
I mean, Dennis Hopper
I
was
always
King
played
Koopa.
Luigi.
I mean, that was a pretty solid casting.
Yes, Dennis Hopper.
And Bob Hoskins is Mario, but his name was Mario.
Yeah, that was his last
And
name.
Luigi Mario. Come on.
Bob Hoskins was better in was it Who Framed Roger Rabbit?
Yes. Oh, yes.
That movie was amazing.
All right.
Dabbling in the watercolors.
All right. We got to move on because we got a lot to get through. Michael, what have you got for us?
Well, I got one that I almost guarantee you isn't on any of your guys' lists. And I'm not saying that this movie was like a 10 out of 10 and wow, that was awesome. And it was Street Fighter 1994.
Ooh, that's on my list
Now,
too.
listen, I'm not saying this was Academy Award winning stuff, but it's goofy.
Well, that's good.
It's ridiculous, but it's that dumb charm that I enjoyed. The scene where Zangief is watching the TV and all the guys are around it, the warrior guy, the bad guys, and they see the vehicle.
Quick,
coming
change the
closer.
channel.
Yeah. Like, it was just, I don't know. I never played a lot of fighting games, but I did play Street Fighter and I did play Mortal Kombat. But Street Fighter was definitely not what I thought the movie was going to be. But there's still, I think, a little bit of an element that does go true. Like the E Honda guy, he was a Hawaiian dude. He did move his arms kind of weird, and was Ken and Ryu. I mean, it's just funny. It's a funny, fun movie. It's one of those guilty pleasures that I don't think is as bad as what people say.
Well, now,
Listen, Van Damme, we talked about in the Predator episode, his cocaine years, he had to get money somewhere. He had to take a role. Why not play this one?
this is true. I will say Ming-Na Wen as Chun-Li.
Yeah.
First
She's been
time
great
I
in a lot
ever
of
saw her. She's been a lot since. She was actually in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. for a long time.
Badass.
Counts as a Disney
She
princess.
is. I mean, she's a genuine, like, fighter. Like, I don't know if she actually knows how to do half of that stuff.
Oh,
but,
I bet she does.
but I mean, what was his name? Raul
Julia.
as Bison. Like,
Oh,
Loved
from
him.
the Addams Family.
Yes.
his eyes always freaked me out. Like, was there a thyroid issue going on there? Like, they were bulging.
He was
all the
actually
time.
sick during filming. He was making that.
This is his last movie?
This was his last movie.
Really?
Because his kids love Street Fighter, so he made this movie, like as the last thing for his kids because they loved that movie. So he put like a lot of effort into that, which I thought was funny because Raul Julia, he played like freaking like Mr. Adams.
I love that our guest just brought in some behind the scenes tidbits that I didn't know.
He played the Addams Family Values, which was the second one,
Go
in 93. It says Street Fighter was in 94, and then Street Fighter the movie, which was actually the video game based on Street Fighter the movie, was in 95, which he did the voice for. And then that was it.
Yep.
4 out of 10 on IMDb. Just putting that out.
It probably should be. I'm not going to argue with that rating, but in my heart,
I'm giving it.
I think it's just fun. It's one of those flipping through the channels. You see it on USA. You're like, I'll finish my sandwich. Why this
exactly. It's
You know,
just like
you
it's
gave me a
enjoyable.
hard time about liking Ant-Man Quantumania, and then you pulled
is on.
this.
I would probably watch.
You pulled this? Dude.
I mean, I would watch this over Quantumania myself, but
That reminds me. I watched Aquaman because you said Quantumania and you watched the Marvels. I did watch Aquaman, and you know what? I thought it was a pretty good movie.
Out of 10?
Out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10. I think it was a good movie. I won't give it an 8. I'll give it like a 7.2 or something. I thought it was just as good as the first one.
That's
I thought
impressive.
There was good comedy. It was better than The Flash, I'll tell you that. And it really sucks that we're probably not going to see any more of this Aquaman because I
You
thought
don't think
he did really
James
well.
Gunn's going to keep Jason Momoa?
Well, he wants to play
he's gonna
Lobo.
be coming back as Lobo. You and I both know that.
Yeah, he's Lobo.
Rumors, but
Pretty close rumors.
hmm?
Who knows what the future holds? But I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. So yeah, I chose 1994's Street Fighter, and I went in chronological order with my list. So
Get
I'll be
this man a
starting from
cookie.
way back in the day when I was just a young little grasshopper, and you guys can jump around as much as you want. So I guess the wheel spins around, the wheel weaves.
So
Back to
I
Josh.
did not go chronologically with my list. I never do, apparently. So the only downside is I had Last of Us and then Super Mario and then this next one, and then that's all the ones I like. So I'm going to move into the bad ones pretty quick, just so y'all know.
Oh, so Bash Session.
No, so my next one that I thoroughly enjoyed was based off of a hit video game, Final Fantasy VII. It was Final Fantasy Advent Children.
I saw once, and I barely remember it.
How dare you?
Fully animated, 7.2 out of 10 on
Are you
IMDb.
saying this is good or bad?
Good.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you said it was bad. I'm almost like,
John
dude.
about came out that microphone right there.
Hang on, everybody. I got to mute John real quick.
Banana.
No, so 7.2 out of 10. The original game came out in 1997. The movie released in 2005. As any Final Fantasy fan knows, we did have a brief Spirits Within incident that we don't like to talk about. That movie was
Never saw it.
a dumpster fire. Please don't.
I was told I probably shouldn't. So I was like, well, I have horror movies to watch anyway.
Like I said, it's fully animated rather than live action, which is great because they did use the exact same animation style later in the Final Fantasy VII remake of the actual game. It picks up exactly 2 years after the events of the original game. It follows the same characters in the aftermath of Final Fantasy VII. If you have not seen this movie, but you're an FF fan, you need to go watch it. Most of the score in this movie is revamped versions of music from the original game. again, spoilers, people. The big battle with Sephiroth towards the end, they take the original soundtrack music from your battle with him in the game and just vamp it up. They add like this chorus type singing to it. Like,
I feel like I need to listen to this in the work truck.
my word, it gets you so hyped.
I love
Share it to you.
John, are you agreeing with me?
Yes.
Like, it is a fantastic movie. It's everything a story from Square Enix should be. And this is where I'm going to incriminate myself slightly. I was in college in 2005. My roommate Jordan and I, Jordan, if you're listening, which I know you're probably not, you're like 30 episodes behind. We acquired a copy of it that was in all Japanese and had very, very poor subtitles. You could tell somebody typed in subtitles and pasted them on. Like, they were not very good.
Paintbrush.
You could tell it wasn't a full translation. It was a, here's what I think they're saying translation. We turned all the lights off. We made popcorn. We cracked open some Smirnoff Ice. And we're sitting there watching this movie on my computer.
Party guy over here.
And when it was over, we looked at each other and said, we need to do that again. Like, it was just mind blowing. And for the time, the CGI, even now, holds up nicely. Like, it's one of my all-time favorite movies. I strongly recommend it. I can't say enough good things about it. So that's why I'm going to pass the book to John, because I will just sit here and rant. So please, what is your story about it?
I mean, that was like my favorite game, like when I first moved. Dude, I just finally beat Ruby Weapon for the first time just the other month. So my next pick.
Oh, no. Whoa. I'm just going to like cut out of the picture here. First he invades the tree fort and then he kicks me out the window. What?
I may go ahead as in,
whoa.
It was your favorite game. What?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Whoa.
All right, so my full input on the movie, I mean, whenever I first originally saw this, I thought it was going to be just like a cheap ripoff. So whenever I started watching it, I'm just like, oh, okay, they actually put some elbow grease into this movie. Didn't think that Sephiroth was going to come back like how he was. So when they did that big reveal, I'm just like, how in the heck did you survive? So that whole big battle, I'm like, at first I thought he was going to win.
That was fantastic.
Yes.
I will say, if you're not familiar with the games, you will not understand most of the movie, like when they're crying mother all the time. If you know the games, you know what they're talking about. If you don't, you're going to be so lost.
Yep.
Well, here's a guy that has no idea what the hell any of you guys are talking about, because I saw the movie once. I guess it was fun. It looked nice. My only real experience with Final Fantasy is playing the original on the NES at my aunt's house, which was an amazing game. I played it for days and days, but I don't know anything about these new games. I know they've been out. I have not been living underneath a rock. I'm going to take all of your words as gospel, and that this movie was good and amazing, and they did awesome, and the new games are awesome, and people got giant swords and they're clouds.
I will say, whenever they slowly reintroduce like the original characters from the game, because they don't just, they're all here, right? Like, let's fight. They bring them in one at a time. They give them perfect introductions, like exactly as it should be for each character. It's beautiful.
Well, it sounds like,
and I still think Barrett is my favorite.
Oh,
the big burly black man with a giant Gatling gun for an arm.
No idea.
Oh, yeah. I could see Mr. T playing him in live action.
I pity the fool.
Like, if I showed you a picture, you'd say, hey, that's Mr. T. All right, that's way more than we need to talk about there. John, what's your next pick?
My next pick, going down my list, is The Witcher, starring Henry Cavill.
What's that?
What's
The
it
Witcher?
about?
Yeah, I've never seen it.
Are you serious?
So
The one with Luke Hemsworth?
I've never heard of it. What is it?
no,
Liam Hemsworth?
no,
It's one of the Hemsworth brothers.
you know.
No, I know all about it. Go ahead.
So played a little bit of the games, liked it, began to really like it after I saw the show, because I mean, just the amount of work that he put into the acting. Because
Yeah.
Henry, like when he picks up a role, he doesn't phone it in. He puts a lot of effort into it. I'm not a Superman fan, but I was with him.
Well, so just a little side note, Henry Cavill's actually, he's come out and said, a huge fan of the original Witcher games and books.
Yep.
And that's one of the reasons he had so many problems with Netflix, was they were steering away from the source material, and he actually knew the source material.
Yeah.
Like,
Yep. So I agreed, I agreed with him. I'm like,
Did you play Wild Hunt, the third one?
I did not.
Oh, that's one of the best. You need to play it.
So
You can hunt like griffins through the forest and stuff. It's amazing.
I didn't play any of them.
You suck.
I listen. I try to play these open world games. I really do. I've played Skyrim and I've played Elder Scrolls. You know, I have a PS5. I haven't turned on in 2 months. I just
Amateur. Mine's been like 6 months.
Now I'll watch the movie versions of these, you know, but I like the TV show. I've yet to finish the final Cavill season. I've decided I'm going to rewatch the entire season in a big clip because I feel like I tried to watch it a little bit here and there up in the living room and before bed, and I couldn't quite put my focus on it. And it was the same with me with the Wheel of Time. When I actually just sat down and just watched them, then I understood who all these crazy characters were, where they were from. And The Witcher is a very dense, big world, and you need to pay attention to who these people are, because if you are just kind of like messing around on your phone or talking to somebody, you kind of miss what's going on. And I want to give it my full attention. I loved season 1, so I want to give season 2 a little bit more attention. And
So,
I
Henry
think
Cavill did
well.
2 seasons or 3 before he left.
I think it's 3.
Was it
Is it
3?
3? Then it's the 3rd season, and I need to
Yeah.
finish all the way through.
So the 4th season is when Liam Hemsworth took over.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
and
it's
that
not
was
out
the
yet.
end.
So it's not out.
No, but I mean that's going to be the end.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I
I
mean,
guess
more than
I would
likely.
say we'll see if it's successful. That's what Netflix is
So,
probably going to say.
I watched the first 2 seasons. I was caught up, and I just never got a chance to watch the 3rd when it released. So I'm kind of in the same boat. Like I need to rewatch it all, I think, to really dive into the universe. But
Well, I'm a big fan to swords and swords. I said, listen, I'm a big sword and sorcery guy, sword and sandal. I like those type of things. Lord of the Rings, you know, magic. I love it. So
you said you're big on pirates too. Like you just like that fantasy sword
I
fighting.
do. I love the just the high adventure of it all. So The Witcher was right up my alley. I'd like to try to play the games. Listen, I tried to play the God of War game. I can't even get like past the first part. I'm not good at these things. I get killed over and over and over again.
Button smashing, man. Those games are all button smashing.
I called John because I played one of those Assassin's Creeds. I know we didn't get to that section yet, but I got to this. I was playing the Odyssey one. I get to like one of the 3rd little mission, and I'm stuck. I just keep getting murdered left and right. I can't get out of there. So I just like I don't play anymore. But you know, I'm happy to watch the adaptations. So spoiler alert, I'm a little out of my depth on some of this episode. So feel free to chime in a little bit more on these things than I do.
Where can they chime in at?
No, I meant you two.
Oh, I thought I meant
But if our
treeofgeek.com.
listeners, yeah, treeofgeek.com. Go to the tab.
Just right over his head.
tab. Oh, we're not to that part yet. Was there anything else, John, that you would like to say about The Witcher, since I kind of just took over there?
Really, nothing else. Because I mean, I really enjoyed just the whole storyline behind it and how it was portrayed.
What was your favorite character on the show, other than the main guy?
Then Geralt.
The Bard. The Bard.
The Bard?
Yep.
What was his name?
Oh goodness.
There's a British
my
comedian
God.
we started watching on Netflix last night, and I thought that was the guy from the show. I did the research, and it wasn't. I was
Yeah.
like, this dude should be the Bard on the show.
I cannot remember his name, but
It's like it sounds French.
Kahir.
may have
Yes,
been.
year. Just
Jaskier.
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 Yes.
Joey Beatty. Yeah.
I like Jennifer Vangerberg or whatever her name is.
Yennefer.
Yennefer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yennefer's
hard
That's the
Wait.
thing too. A lot of these things are like
What did you say? Jennifer Gangavir?
she's from some place.
Yennefer's played by Anya.
No, where she's from.
Oh,
She's from. In the show, they say her character. They
Jennifer.
for the first season, they
oh.
kept saying where she was from over and over and over
Gotcha,
again.
gotcha. See, I was like
Vangerberg, Vangerberg.
I was like Siri.
Siri.
Ciri.
Oh,
That's
the
who-
blonde
yes,
girl.
that's
right?
yeah.
Yeah. I was
Take her over
I
Yennefer.
like the head witch lady.
I was liked her in the games. Like she's just her character.
And listen, I know it sounds like I should know. I'm on a geek show. I should know who all these people are, but there's so many weird names. Like I can't all the
Well,
Game
we
of Thrones
got
characters. Like it's hard to
Ciri.
remember
We
all
have
these.
Geralt of Rivia. We have Yennefer, Kahir, Fringilla, Fringia, Tissaia, Jaskier.
It sounds like a lot
Farah.
of these names are made up like mid sneeze. Like,
Well, you get on your apps, right? And like take the first letter of your middle name and
Yeah.
move it to the 3rd letter over, and like that's how you get your Star Trek name. It's like I can't remember who they are. If you put a picture in front of me, like, yeah, this is the person that stabbed the one person. You know, I'll get that, but It's a fun show. Apparently, they did well.
I will say The Witcher is an 8.0 out of 10. I mean, that's pretty high for even a TV show.
First series,
First
season got really good reviews. The second one dipped a little. The third one got hit, I think, kind of hard. If I remember, the
first
critics,
season was
but who
fantastic.
cares about critics?
I very clearly remember the first season was fantastic.
Well, whatever, the third season, the very first episode, the opening scene of him in the barn, it's all like POV. And I was like, whoa, they're doing this? Like, this is very game-like.
Yeah.
This is pretty badass. And then they don't really do it again. But it was fun to see. It was fun to see. Moving on to the next pick, guys. Is it me? Am I up?
You're up.
Am I up for 1995's Mortal Kombat? Come on, guys. How did you not know that I wasn't going to do Mortal Kombat, Goro, Johnny Cage? Listen, when you played Mortal Kombat, part 1, part 2, and you saw Scorpion, and you're like, oh, these characters, Raiden doing the lightning. When you watch the movie, now it is a product of its time, and there is a certain budget and only so many special effects you can do. But when you see Scorpion for the first time in that movie come out in the forest, you see Sub-Zero doing his like.
You see them on the boat.
I was like, this is the game. Now, whereas Street Fighter was goofy and it was fun, this did have some comedy in it, but this was like, oh my God, they took the game and made it into a movie. These guys are actually fighting each other. Liu Kang just did a bicycle kick. This is amazing.
You do know it was directed by Paul W. Anderson, too?
I do.
Just like Alien VP? Alien
Yeah.
versus Predator. Why did I say VP? Alien Vice President. Alien versus Predator. And all the Resident Evils.
Yeah.
Monster Hunter. I mean,
I was going to get into that a little bit later about.
Sorry.
Yeah, but no, it's fun. It's fun.
Sounds like that might be on his negative list.
They did come out with Annihilation. Probably shouldn't have been made. And the newest one had some good parts, but I don't know what they were doing with who this new character is that doesn't even exist in the other games.
Yeah.
That ruined the whole entire thing for me. But I mean, good cast, good fighting, but I really enjoy the 1995 version. I would watch it if it was on somewhere. I'm pretty sure I have it on DVD. I listened to that soundtrack a lot when I was a kid. I mean, you hear that dun 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 dun. I mean, that techno was everywhere back in the day. It wasn't EDM, it was techno.
Who played the big forearm dude? Or was that just all CGI? I don't know.
That was a horrible costume that just failed
For 1995. Come on now.
Well, I couldn't remember if it was like really early, like attempted CGI.
Goro was portrayed by Tom Woodruff Jr. and voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson. Both of whom were uncredited.
Really?
Yeah.
They should be furious.
I would be.
We're
but
happy.
Maybe they were like, just please don't put me in the movie.
I mean, I will say this got 5.8 out of 10 compared to the 4 that Street Fighter got. So I'd be more inclined to watch this over Street Fighter.
I would watch this over Street Fighter.
If I saw it on
I
TV,
do
I'd
remember
stop and watch it.
always cheering for Sub-Zero.
Even when they're on the boat at the beginning, like the fog and the way the pirate ships put together, like it was just the atmosphere. I thought.
And then
Anderson
they came
took
out.
whatever money they gave him, and I think he made the most of what they gave him. The guy who played Shang Tsung, like, come on,
Amazing actor.
great. I'll tell you who he is if I could ever get my
Showdown in Little
computer to work
Tokyo.
properly.
Shang was Kari Hiroyuki
Hiroyuki
Tagawa.
Tagawa. Yeah, Hiroyuki.
Yep.
Hiroyuki.
Johnny Cage was Lyndon Ashby. Robin Shu was Liu Kang.
Robin Shu, man, killed it as Liu Kang.
Yeah,
Killed it.
He did. And Christopher Lambert as Lord Raiden.
I only say that because
Raiden.
I feel like every time I rented a movie from Blockbuster and there'd be a trailer for something he was in, they'd always be like, from the legendary director of blah, blah, blah comes this movie starring Christopher Lambert. I'm like, wait, what? So, I just like to point that out occasionally that, every narrator for those old school movies, they just say Lambert. There can be only one. And it's Henry Cavill, apparently. I want to know who's going to play Kurgan. I mean, is Kurgan going to be, Fancy Brown's still kicking. Like, bring him back.
I mean, maybe this time he won't accidentally take a swipe at like a hard swipe at somebody. I mean, it was an accident, but
Hey, don't get in Clancy's way. All right, my turn is over. I threw out Mortal Kombat. Spin the wheel back around. What do you got there, bud?
So I'm going to move into the section of the I really didn't care for this movies. And to start that out, we're going to go ahead with, you already mentioned it once, Assassin's Creed. 5.6 out of 10 on IMDb. The original movie came out in 07. Movie in 16, and many, many iterations in between of the game. Love the game. Well, most of the games. Some of them are pretty rough.
I like watching John's kid play him.
So my biggest issue with the movie was it was a fun movie. Fassbender always delivers. The problem was in this case, they tried to incorporate an incredibly complex storyline that took many games to fully even understand
I tried to watch that movie twice.
into an hour and like
And it's
40
like,
minutes.
I understand some weird movies, man, but I had no idea what the hell was going on.
Look, if you didn't have a full understanding of the games and the animus and all of that, you weren't going to get this. You just weren't. They tried to sugarcoat and explain it real quick, and it just wasn't going to happen.
Well, it didn't help that a lot of people were speaking in Italian, and so instead of me watching the screen trying to understand what the hell was going on, I had to stop and read. So like people are doing everything, and I'm trying to read, but then other stuff's happening.
Yes.
And I'm like, what the? And then
Yep.
like somebody's on a roof, and it's a kid, and then they're back in Italy. Like what the? Yeah, I don't know. It was
Yep.
worse than the Tomb Raider movies.
They rushed it to the point where like there was no character development. I mean, they didn't follow any previous game character. They made an all new character in the real world, an all new character in the past, which I get. They wanted to show that, you know, everybody has a past type of thing that you can connect to, but nobody cared.
Yeah, I didn't
Like
care.
nobody cared.
John,
But
did you care?
Nope.
if they had done it
Not
as
at all.
Desmond Miles, the original protagonist of the game, and either Altair or Ezio, the original.
So you pissed off
That's
the
the
ghost.
poltergeist.
All right,
Guys,
so
you a Creed
stuff just
fan?
fell over, so maybe I should not talk bad about this. But no, it's just they could have gone a much different route with it, but they tried to be too visually enticing, I think, and it just
It was
didn't
all
work.
gray. The whole movie's like gray and weird.
Yes, a lot of it is, yeah, and the pacing felt incredibly rushed, like very
Lush, but
key,
yet boring.
very key points that should have been explained to get any of this real complex storyline remotely understandable were just glossed over. But
Who directed this movie? Do you have that in front of you?
I can find out real quick.
Was this like a protege of Michael Bay?
I'll
He
tell you
probably
what.
went uncredited too.
I'll tell you what. We'll move over,
He
John.
might be.
What's your opinion on this movie, John? And I'll pull that up and we'll see what's going on there.
Yeah. What is your rating out of 10? What do you give this movie?
1.
Ooh, that's actually pretty painful, man. Really?
Yes,
I don't know
I
if
love
I
the
wouldn't
games,
give it a
but
1.
this movie offended me so much.
I mean, I was giving it like a 4 or
Oh, no,
5.
no,
I
no.
was gonna get rock a 4. I was gonna rock a 4 on this.
Yeah, I go with 1 because I love the game so much because there's so much going on and they crammed everything they could into this movie and it failed so horribly. It's like it was a cash grab.
Were you able to follow what was happening?
If I hadn't watched
'Cause
the
you were a
games,
game player.
if I hadn't played the games, I would have no clue what the heck
I'm
was
saying,
going on.
did you though understand what the hell was going on?
Barely. Barely.
You couldn't even get through the fairly
This-
coherent part of it.
This is a direct-to-video movie that should have happened.
So it looks like director was Justin Kurzel. And if you don't know who that
I'm
is,
familiar.
it's
What do you
because he did 6 other things.
What-
Deluge,
all-
True History of Kelly Gang, This is Port Adelaide, Nitram, Shantaram.
You're just making up words and putting
I-
syllables
I
together.
feel like
Those are not real words.
He's using the AI generator.
I'm sorry, that was his producer credits. Let's look at his director credits. Oh, look, they're all the same ones except Macbeth and Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, well, this guy has no career now. Probably still has more money than we do, so I'm sure he's
See,
doing
but
fine.
I don't even know if he's fully to blame. I feel like the writers have a lot that they need to carry on this
What
movie.
studio is this? Do we know what studio did this? I'm asking some questions I probably doesn't. So I didn't research this because I didn't.
Universal?
I'm trying to remember the beginning. Usually pretty good at that, but I
It's New Line Cinema. There you
Well,
go.
it's because you fell asleep right away. I mean,
probably no. As soon as the kid's like chilling on a roof and jumping into a truck and
So within the
just
first
dusty and
5
gray
minutes.
and tell how far into the movie I got. Is this a Fox? Is this Fox?
Oh,
It is a Fox.
20th Century Fox.
There you
Oh
go.
man, I was just trying. Dude, you give me some credit here. I was like, this has got. Oh
that
man.
was definitely a cash
That
grab.
is going to end up in the Beyond with all the Wolverine stuff that we saw in the spoiled pictures of Deadpool 3.
Probably. Let's move on from this one, guys. We move on from Assassin's Creed.
It's kind of like Alien Resurrection. We just want to forget about it
Yes.
and go watch Alien 3.
Yeah, Alien Resurrection has a couple, not many.
We're not getting into this again.
We're not. We're not.
That was
Yeah.
horrible.
Different podcast. Move along.
Is it my turn next?
Well, I will throw it out
ahead,
there.
go ahead.
The cast had potential. I mean, Jeremy Irons, Michael Fassbender, Marianne Cotillard, I don't know how to pronounce her name.
I know who she is.
Brendan Gleeson.
Hey, he's a good
Like
actor.
it had a
Gangs
lot
of New
of
York.
decent names in it. I just
Mad Eye Moody.
yes, he was. Yeah. I just feel that the writing and director wasted this horribly.
Yeah, well, maybe they'll get another shot in a couple years. You know, we'll see. But
It's one that I wanted to like,
put
but
this
in the end, I think I saw it twice, and that's because I wanted to like it, and I just couldn't.
I think I saw it, didn't understand, kind of like fell asleep or something. I think I tried like later that week, and then just like I give up.
You couldn't sleep, so you put it on again.
Yeah. Listen, I tried to watch Tomb Raider 3 times. Never
The
finished.
new one,
The second one.
Angel Lee.
Yeah,
Okay,
not the Vikander. I think that's her name. I'm sure that'll probably pop up somewhere, so I won't get too ahead of ourselves here.
All right,
Throw this one back in the $5 Walmart bin.
Pitter
Let's
patter.
move.
John, what do you
Pitter
got for us? Or
All right.
Jonathan, or Johnny,
So my third pick,
or Jimbo.
and this is more or less because I like just playing the dice version, but I like playing like Dungeons and Dragons.
I thought you were gonna say
Honor
Yahtzee.
Among Thieves. I know it's not a video game, but it's still technically a game.
This was in my honorable mention section
Huh.
because it wasn't a video game.
Well, yeah, I liked it because I mean,
Way to steal the thunder, John.
yeah, whatever. But anyway, I like this movie because it had comedy to it, had a decent storyline to it. The fight scenes were decent, but I mean, I just loved the movie.
Quick, without thinking, favorite part of the movie.
So, the graveyard.
Okay. Okay.
Is
Yeah,
that-
I mean, I agree with you.
Is that a
We've said
question?
before.
Yes.
Well, on our previous podcast about the best movies
Yes.
of 2023.
I think it was in the Tree Fort Awards.
Yeah, the
For
Tree Fort Awards,
2023.
yes. Yeah.
It is one of my absolute favorite movies because yes, I do love the game,
Mhm.
but it was just so well done. I mean, I think one of my favorite parts. Yes, the graveyard is great, but the when the bard, the illusion starts to fail and it's like a skipping record all of a sudden. It's just
Yeah.
it was
What's
so
wrong with him?
It was so stupid, but at the same time, like that's
Sorcery assist.
exactly how I visualize this stuff in the game.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. What did you roll again? Ooh. So listen, the spell did work. However,
Yep, and that druid, she's the reason I'm now playing a druid because I really wanted to give it a shot, and I
movie's
love it.
great.
It is.
Great.
What was her name? Sophie.
It's a girl from It, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I guess if I was to say my favorite part of that movie, probably the maze scene. I love like the gelatinous cube is there. You see the other D&D people.
Which we mentioned before is the original cartoon, the D&D cartoon. That's the original party.
yes.
Great little Easter egg.
Yeah, great flick. Yeah, it's hard for me to go. I don't want to deep dive back into it. I mean,
I will.
a lot of things you deep dive into. But would you deep dive into 1999's Wing Commander? A lot of people wouldn't. A lot of people are probably just turning off the podcast right now. What, are you just turning off your computer right now?
Yeah, I'm
I
going
have
home.
One heartfelt, one sad scene in that movie. I love that movie, but whenever they pushed the jet over the side of the ship when his girlfriend crashed, I choke up every single time.
Damn. I just pulled at Johnny's heartstrings here. Listen, this movie did not receive good reviews. People of the original games, the players were mad that they changed a lot of things. I didn't play the games, so I didn't really care. I didn't even know there was a game that existed before I went and saw this.
I watched the animated TV show on USA in the mornings on Saturdays.
I didn't know that existed till 2 seconds ago when you told me.
Still a higher rating than Street Fighter.
I like sci-fi stuff as well as the sword sorcery things. I'm a big Star Trek guy. Johnny, you're a Star Wars guy. And there's this guy over here, but I like this was like a Battlestar Galactica type deal, which you do like. You're a
Oh, I
Battlestar
love
guy.
it.
You're a Battlestar guy. So
Well, you were trying to
thought
find a sci-fi series, though?
Yeah, I didn't know which one.
Better
Oh,
than Babylon
I can name
5.
100 sci-fi books.
There's a lot of things better than Babylon 5. Okay. I did try to watch the first episode of that like 3 years ago. I was like, listen, I never really took a chance. Let's do this. Never finished the first episode.
Freddie
Sheldon
Prinze
Cooper has a
Jr.
point.
and Matthew Lillard.
Yeah, dude, we got some Scooby-Doo people up in this piece.
Dude,
I think this
Matthew-
was before, but was it
Matthew Lillard, he's the one that makes that D&D themed
Whiskey?
whiskey that I
Yeah.
bought. I forget what it's called now.
Paladin.
Yes. This bottle is called the Paladin. It's called Quest's End Whiskey.
You got Jurgen Pachow in here. Panchow? I always call him Pachow.
Big
He's-
boy.
he's been in-
Saffron Burrows. I don't know who that is.
She's the short brunette or the short-haired brunette.
Well, in the
You know?
show, in the movie, I know, but I mean, I don't really think I recognize her from much of
Eh.
anything. Oh, Troy. She was in Troy. in Westworld?
She's been in some things.
Okay, yeah. She looks like she's one of those people that jump show to show quite a bit as like guest spots.
Yeah, I would say so. She's a character actor.
Yeah.
I don't know. I enjoyed the space battles. I thought it was a good balance of comedy, action, drama. Like you said, the whole death scene there. The video game, irregardless, however you say it, I thought the movie was awesome. I don't want to spend a lot of time on it, but
No, but I mean, you gotta give credit whenever they take something that's from a game. They try and make a serious, they add something of that caliber that actually does hit the emotions. You gotta give them credit there.
yeah, I thought. Listen, I don't understand. I've met people that like Starship Troopers, but they hate this movie. Like they're the same.
Dude, Starship Troopers was a get drunk and
same type of acting, same type of action, same type of comedy.
I mean,
See,
we have
How do you hate one but you like the other?
we have Neil Patrick Harris in it though.
Yeah, but
This is
even
Matthew Lillard.
even he wasn't able to save that movie. I would be reversing these. Like Starship Troopers is.
I'm not saying I don't like Starship Troopers. I love the first movie.
It's because of the nudity, isn't it?
No, I like to do where the guy gets his brain sucked out from that weird ass creature, the bug underneath.
He had
the
that
cameras.
coming.
Oh man,
Like,
that was
Cut his tongue
it was
stinger
it was
thing
weird.
off. Oh man.
And listen, Denise Richards probably didn't help or didn't. Well, she might have helped or hurt. I don't know. It's all your opinion. I didn't mind that she was in it. But there's my take on Wing Commander. I wish they would bring
That's
it
a
back.
deep dive, man. 1995. I mean 99.
Yeah, chronological order. So I'm about to hit the new millennium. Moving along. Who's next in this joyride of
That
fun?
would be me. With
You're on-
another movie that I found horribly difficult to watch, Need for Speed.
Oh dear God, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, 6.4 out of 10 on IMDb. I felt
Was
was
this the one with Jesse?
yes. So I felt that was generous, a 6.4 out of 10.
Imogen Poots?
Yes.
See, if I want to watch racing, I'll just turn on
So-
NASCAR.
Original game release of Need for Speed was actually 1994.
I know.
This
I had it on
movie
computer.
came out in 14, 30 years in the making. And they should have just kept making.
If they just shouldn't have called it Need for Speed.
No, I agree.
Just call it Heist Car Movie or something. Just don't call it Need for Speed. I didn't think the movie was bad,
Well,
but as far as
The
translation
story,
of the game,
the story itself was almost non-existent.
yeah, there's no like you
Weak
wouldn't.
at best.
Cash grab.
Yeah, I mean, there was no character development like whatsoever, which you'll hear me say a lot. That's big for me is I want to know why I'm invested in these characters. A huge issue that I know it had was anyone outside the gaming community could have cared less about it because it was just another car movie.
Well, they were riding
And-
the Fast and the Furious. flames.
Exactly. Well, the problem with that was it was also heavily compared to Fast and the Furious, which
Well, at
hurt
the
it.
same time, they had that motorcycle movie that came out too. Instead of cars, it was it called Bikes? Might have been called Bikes. I don't know. But yeah, like they had all these movies coming out at the same time.
Well, and I think the only reason that it even did remotely decent at a 6.4 out of 10 was it was just riding Aaron Paul's fame from Breaking Bad.
Yeah, I don't.
I
I think
really-
he's a little bit overrated as an actor. I'm going to say it right now. I'm not saying he's horrible. I don't think he has a huge range.
He's the same in everything.
But I like Imogen Poots.
But as far as Need for Speed went, I mean, I
she was in Brody's and it
was
was awesome.
mostly bored through that movie. And I mean, I went back and I was going to rewatch it, but instead I just rewatched the trailer and I remembered why I hated it so much.
I know he has a car and they're in a grocery store at some. I don't know. They're
It
running
was
from the
rough.
cops and
It was rough.
they're doing like it's a big giant race across the United States, but he
Yeah.
has to like win the car or something.
Because he has to like
or-
pay off debts,
for his
basically.
brother or something. It was like Gone in 60 Seconds type stuff.
Listen, that was a good movie. We're not messing with that one.
Did you know it was a remake
Sure do.
with Nicolas Cage?
Steve McQueen.
Yep.
Good
Completely different from the remake, except for the car. The car is there. But yeah, that's my my real quick Need for Speed. John, do you have anything to add to it other
Did you
than
play the game, John?
I don't play racing games.
see? I played many
The closest thing I come to racing is in GTA, and that's when I'm on the sidewalk hitting people.
on motorcycles.
Motorcycles, man. Gotta run them over. I had Need for Speed on my computer, and I had the hacks to where you could put in different cars. Like I had the General Lee, I had the Mad Max Interceptor, I had the Charger from Fast and Furious, the Supra. And then somebody messed with the Supra to where it would go so fast it would jump to the beginning of the course again, and it would just
Uh,
kind of like mess the game up.
See,
Like, all these modded cars. It was
I really loved it. It was Need for Speed Online World. It was Need for Speed World. So it was NFSW. And if you typed it in wrong, you were typing in
Not safe for
not
work.
safe for
Is
work.
this podcast safe for work?
Not at all. I have
I
it
didn't
set as
think
not
so.
appropriate for children on YouTube.
Are children at work?
I don't but no, it was
Wow.
basically World of Warcraft, but with cars. You had your car, you worked on it, like like you could buy
Need for
upgrades
Speed Underground was like that too.
ish. But this was strictly computer. It was every race was with other people, or you could just free drive around the city and see other people. And then I had a fair amount of time, and I'd say even money wrapped up in it, because my cousin and I, instead of like going and hanging out somewhere or going to a movie, we'd throw $20 in the game, buy some upgrades and stuff,
Wasn't there one of these Need for Speeds where you could make your own course? One of the computer ones?
That would be neat. But I don't know.
was. You
But then they
if
shut the
anybody
servers.
out there knows of what racing game it was where you can make your own track, and I'm not talking about Excite Bike here, okay, which is an amazing game. I don't care, I'll play it today. But yeah.
Well, they
So
shut
tell me
the
what it was.
servers down for Need for
Aw.
Speed World, and all the money that you'd sunk into it was just gone.
Yeah,
And that's one reason I don't play paid MMOs anymore.
Mm-hmm.
lose all them coins. Well,
Now, see that to me that hits home like when they push the ship off.
Uh,
what do you got, John? What's your next pick?
my next pick? Well, we've already gone over Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, so the next one I have...
Wait, was Street Fighter on your list?
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude,
On
see, you guys
purpose?
are giving me all this shit.
Yes.
Street Fighter was on your list.
It
Yep.
was on my bad list.
Oh, it was on my list.
John, you're a stone cold killer. I didn't even know.
So the next one is going to be Pokemon Detective Pikachu. I absolutely love that movie, and I think it's because Ryan Reynolds just nailed it.
He looked anorexic
But
at the
like,
end of that.
just
He looked
just
so skinny.
Who?
Ryan Reynolds at
Oh,
the
really?
end of that. Yeah.
But like the score, as soon as the movie comes on, you just have that old school, like as soon as you turn on like the old school like Pokemon, you have that almost nostalgic theme to it. And then it just kicks off with the Cubone kicking that guy's ass. But the storyline was great. I mean, the comedy was just I loved it.
It is a funny movie.
Yep.
It is a very funny movie.
6.5 out of 10.
6.5 out of 10. That's it? That's all I
That's
got.
it. Yep.
I thought it would got
See,
better reviews.
I would have I was thinking like maybe 7.5.
Is this the same kid that was in this one that was in D&D? The same actor?
Justice Smith was
Yes,
his name.
yes, he was. Because he
Yes.
played the sorcerer. Yes.
He plays the Simon, the really, really bad sorcerer or wizard or
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I want to. Yeah. Same actor.
Yep.
Assumed.
And Catherine Newton, she was the female lead.
Catherine Newton. Can't seem to think what she looks like in my head.
Blonde. She played the new, like I said, new because
She-
like the fourth Cassie Lang in Ant-Man Quantumania.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was gonna say that, or if you remember Castiel from Supernatural, like
Yes, yeah.
that was like his host, like daughter.
Claire Novak.
There you go.
Yeah,
Okay. All right. Well,
she's a good actress. I like her.
what was your favorite part of the entire movie, John?
My favorite part of the movie. Oh man, I got a lot of parts with that, but I want to say when he's fighting the Charizard and he's about to get whooped, and he curls up in the ball.
Took my scene.
He curls up and says, "Pika, Pika," and then the Gyarados comes over and just whoops both of them.
What is your go-to Pokemon? I know the answer. People out there don't know the answer.
Blastoids.
Blastoise.
Blastoids. I like me my turtle.
Rough choice.
Why is it a rough
It's
choice?
only a rough choice if you don't know how to fight him. You get the right amount of moves, and like he's taking down everybody.
Nah,
Yeah.
I will one-on-one you right now with Umbreon.
Ooh, Umbreon's pretty sick, man.
Mm.
The dark evolution of Eevee. Shiny Umbreon is just black, but instead of the yellow circles, it's like a nice.
I don't even
Light
want to.
blue,
Okay, we can't
beautiful.
even go down this road because
That's an entire
sick
different
and tired
podcast we need to
of-
work on.
That's my favorite shiny.
I'm sick and tired of you and Zach sending me this crap every day. Oh, look at the shiny. Look at the shiny. Hey, check out this shiny. Here's a hundo. Here's a hundo shiny. Shiny, 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 shiny.
Hey, I've never
And I
had a
catch and I catch and I
Shundo.
catch. I don't catch nothing.
I've never had a shiny Hundo. So this morning I decided to play Pokemon Go, which I haven't even turned on in a while, and I got 3 shinies in like 30 minutes.
See,
Ridiculous.
I have an almost like Hundo shiny. It's like 97 or 87, but it's like my Venusaur.
Doesn't count. It has to be a Hundo.
Mm.
Doesn't help. Listen, it was pretty cool to the story. Trying to figure out where the scientist guy is.
Yes. I did like that it was an actual mystery.
Yeah, it wasn't just, hey, what's Pokemon fighting Pokemon? It was cool to see them all roaming wild everywhere.
Like in everyday life type of thing.
I thought the villain could have had some more depth. The Ditto in the movie is cooler than the Ditto in Pokemon Go, so that's cool.
Even the Psyduck was better in the movie than it was in the show.
I mean, Bill Nye was in it.
Yeah,
Was
that's
he?
cool.
Not the science guy. The good Bill Nye.
Oh, I was like, wait, what? I was like, I know him.
How do you?
The other one's a bad Bill Nye?
Like-
No, just I like this one better.
Oh, okay. All right.
He's in better stuff.
He was the Minister in Magic and Harry Potter. He was Victor in like freaking like.
He was on the pirate movie. He was in the pirate movie.
Yeah.
And he was in a horror movie I watched yesterday. Can't remember which one it was though. It wasn't very good. Oh, no, it wasn't.
Dude, he was in Shaun of the Dead.
Well, he's a BBC guy. A lot of British stuff.
It says here he also does voices for Elder Scrolls Online, so you should like that.
Yep.
It makes sense.
And
Yep.
Destiny. Well, Destiny 2.
We're getting off the rails here.
Yeah, but real quick, wasn't he also in
Shout out to him.
Underworld?
Love him.
The
He was the bad
prequel
main
Underworld.
bad. No, he was in
No,
the
he-
very first Underworld.
Yeah, he played Victor the vampire.
He's the one that came back like
Yeah.
accidentally.
They thought him
basically.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Celine raises him. Yeah.
yeah.
But
Victor,
still.
Rise of the Lycan.
Hey, what that
yeah.
prequel where Rona Mitra? Dude, they were-
Yeah.
like she was like almost I don't know. Rona Mitra, Beckinsale. I don't know. Whew.
Listen, this is a
can still
off-topic
look into
next
that.
one, so
Do you know he was also in? It's not. I don't have it listed here, but he was also in an episode of Doctor Who.
did not know that.
One of the
He had
best
to have.
episodes was the Vincent Van Gogh episode. He was the
Yeah, that's a
curator at the museum.
That's a sad episode.
He was only in it briefly, but his brief little monologue there just carried so much weight. Oh my word! I could talk about Doctor Who all night, so we need to get out of that now.
Yeah, we'll get to a Doctor Who episode.
Oh, we should. We should.
Yeah, so overall, Detective Pikachu, funny. The Pokemon visually, I thought they did very well.
Yep.
Like it wasn't. I was afraid. I was like, man, this is gonna be some cheesy type stuff. I saw the trailer. I was like, okay, we'll see what you got
That
going
was
on
gonna be
here.
like a Sonic the Hedgehog thing.
Yeah, I'm like
The original
mm,
design for Sonic.
Oh, is that the teeth one?
It's like the thing of nightmares. Yeah, that.
Yeah, we're like, seriously, you're gonna put that on the big screen, really?
I'm so glad they changed that.
On to my next pick.
Absolutely.
2002. What happened in 2002? Lots of things, but what we're going to talk about is Resident Evil. Now, I'm not going to talk about the craptacular sequel after sequel after sequel after sequel.
Okay, good.
Thank
The
you.
very first 2002 Anderson Mila
Was
Jovovich.
it Michelle Gomez or whatever?
Joe Gomez.
The chick from
Dungeons and
The
Dragons.
chick from D&D?
Yeah.
Everybody's in D&D, buddy.
I thought it was Michelle Gomez.
Michelle Rodriguez, Eric Mobius, I don't know. He played a crow at one point. James Purefoy, I don't know. Martin Cruz. I'm just naming off names of the people. Listen, I didn't play these games either. Shocker. But I love horror. Went and saw this opening weekend with my buddy. I liked Mila Jovovich from The Fifth Element. I was like, yeah, I'll check this out. I was stunned. This movie was awesome. It was great. The soundtrack. I bought the soundtrack, went to Best Buy, bought the soundtrack, listened to it in my car, listened to it in my Walkman. I didn't give a shit. I listened to it over and over again. Some good rock songs to it. Marilyn Manson helps do the theme in this. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. Dude, the guy gets sliced by the lasers.
That's sad about
Like, this
that.
dude's
It's just
supposed to
like,
survive.
oh.
You mean the guy who like I'm gonna outsmart it and
Yeah. Then he jumps up.
cheese
He's like,
grater.
"Oh, fuck. Like, yeah, he's gone.
Yep.
Like, it was, then the dogs, the Dobermans.
No, we don't talk about that.
Like, I was not expecting half of what happened in this movie to like happen. I didn't know the story from the games. I didn't know if it was original, if this was brought in. Now, I did see the second one and I saw the third one because a buddy of mine wanted to see it. But after that, I was like, I'm done. Like, no more. Whatever they're like in Vegas and everything's under, like, I don't know which one that
I
one
think
is,
that's
but
Extinction.
Yeah.
but they're all crap. But the first one, I think the first one, people would say, have you ever played Resident Evil? And I was like, no. They're like, oh, dude, that game's scary, dude. Like, it messes with you a bit. I was like, okay, whatever. Well, the movie didn't mess with me at all because I'm not like that. But I could see how it would, and I could see how the translation of terror from the game was translated to cinema. So that's why it's on here. I think it's a well-made movie. There you go. What is your experience with the games and the movie, John?
So the games I absolutely loved. The movie I hate.
Why do you hate it?
Because I'm not a big fan of Mila Jovovich, but also namely because of like how the storyline went. It's like,
So you're saying it wasn't true?
yeah, because like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, okay, There had some funny parts, like whenever the bodies aren't there, because like you go back in the game and you went down the same hallway, you just blasted like a bunch of zombies, and then like they're magically not there. I'm like, oh, okay, homage to the game, you know, because they're gone from the laser room. But I'm looking at this, and I'm just like, the storyline to me was kind of hard to really keep together, because I'm just like,
Well, there's a mystery to it, yeah.
yeah. When I'm thinking like I'm playing the game in my head, I'm just like, majority of this takes place upstairs, and then you work your way down, and it's just like, I don't know. It's just the whole storyline to me. Just I was lost on it.
What about you, Josh? What's your experience with the Resident Evil games, and how do you think it translated? Good or bad?
More or less the opposite of what you just said. I really never cared for the games that much because, I mean, everyone listening should know by now, I'm not a big horror person. That being said, I had played them. I figured, all right, I'll give this a shot. We'll see. I mean, how bad can it be? The movie, and I thought it was an amazing take on the game. Now, at the time, I completely understood that they were tweaking it to make it more movie friendly, because a lot of what they do in the games you couldn't really put on TV. At least, I mean, this was 2002, but they were still pretty early in all of this, the good CGI. I mean, to put it into perspective, The Matrix had just come out in '99, and that was pushing the boundaries, and they didn't really have CGI other than like scenery. You know what I mean? They didn't do like creatures. Well, except for like a million Agent Smiths, but you know what I'm saying. Which actually a lot of was actually practical effects, by the way. Just saying. But back on Resident Evil, I very, very clearly remember the laser scene and the guy just standing there, and then all of a sudden you just see the blood start trickling as he like
happened. I was
slides
like, this
apart.
movie's gonna be fun.
And I was like, holy crap. And then when it got to the dogs, I will happily admit that scared the crap out of me. Like, how do you get away from that type of thing? Like,
this movie here, it's like, I know Anderson has a good movie in him.
Yeah.
I know he's not a horrible director.
The ones after this were pretty bad.
He's done a lot of movies since this where I'm like, dude, what is going on here? What are you making? But I thought this was good. So
yeah,
thumbs down for Johnny, thumbs up for us. Majority rules.
Yeah.
You know, there it is.
That's strike 2 on you coming back. So
well, you haven't heard my last one yet, so.
Oh, I can't wait.
I still got a couple to go. I think I did a more of a list here. What else do you got, John?
Well, my last one, Double Dragon.
Go ahead and defend it because it's not on my list. Josh, is it on your list?
That would never be on my list.
Was it on a good or a bad? Was it anywhere?
No, it didn't. It didn't make it to any list.
Well, that's good for
I
me.
barely even remember this, other than what the hell.
Now you're talking 1994.
So,
Congratulations, you have beaten Street Fighter by a point. It's a 3.9 out of 10.
This is better than what?
This is worse than worse.
Oh, okay.
I'm saying he beat it as far as the next worst movie.
Oh, okay.
Please, I would love to hear your.
Tell us why this is on your list and why it's amazing.
First game I ever got to play, like on the Super Nintendo. So I'm like, all right. And it's like, I dug the storyline, dug the gameplay. So when I first saw the movie, I'm just like, all right, I like Alyssa Milano. I can watch this. So I'm watching the movie.
Alyssa Milano's in this?
Oh my God, yeah.
I think I saw it once when I was
yes.
probably like 5. Like, I don't know.
And I mainly watched it because like one of my favorite actors, and I know I'm going to butcher his last name, and dude, I apologize. Mark Dracanos. He played the Crow.
I have it here.
Oh, Mark DeCostas?
Yes, when he played on the TV show. When they made the TV show on Sci-Fi Network, he played the Crow. I'm like, okay, this guy's cool. All right.
He's also in Only the Strong.
Yes, I love that movie. Yes. Yep.
I really have nothing to say about this movie that's going to be pleasant. So.
Yeah, he's a great actor, but this movie sucks.
Yeah.
It does say here, though, that Corey Milano was also in the movie, playing, I'm assuming, Marion Delario, Alyssa Milano's character, her brother, Mark Delario. So I kind of wonder if that was her real-life brother.
No idea.
The little kid at the house, yeah, I think it was. She was still super young then.
I don't remember anything of this movie.
Yeah.
I know what the cover looks like, and that's it.
But I like how comedic the movie is because in the game, it's like, like the game has such like the strong background, and then they come into it almost like a cartoonish like background. Like all of LA is like nothing but gang territory. So they're just
Predator 2.
Yeah, basically that's a basic yeah.
Do you think the Double Dragons could beat Ken and Ryu?
Oh my God, no.
I don't know. Do they have powers at all, or are they just
They do at the end of the movie. But like if you're going off video
games,
games,
the main plot of this movie, John? Just real simple.
A magic amulet that gets split in half, and they end up getting it. It's supposed to be like they're supposed to be. So there's one big bad who wants to get this amulet that can make him all powerful, and if he gets it, it's basically like world's over. They end up getting it, but accidentally break the thing. So now they both have an amulet that gives them some type of power, and it's not until the end of the movie that they end up getting like super like they basically power up basically.
It says here, two brothers have half of a powerful ancient Chinese talisman. An evil gang leader has the other half and is determined to get the brother's half and have a complete medallion so he can gain absolute power.
That is the most original, star-studded event I've ever heard of.
Yep.
Well, no, and if I'm looking at these pictures correctly, they're like fighting Chinese outfits were pretty much bedazzled. So
Yeah. But it's for me, and like I like one of the first movies I came across that I liked. I was just like, all right, I can watch
like
this.
Three ninjas.
It's better
Who
than
would
Three
win?
Ninjas.
Who would win? The Double Dragons or Three Ninjas?
Oh, Three Ninjas.
Oh my, yeah.
Or just Ninja?
Maybe
American Ninja, American Samurai.
I mean, if you're talking
Beverly
about
Hills?
ninja, like that really gory one,
Scott Pilgrim.
like in the beginning scene where those guys get like ripped apart by that
The
ninja.
ninja from like 15 years ago was brutal.
Oh
as hell.
my god, yeah, they would.
Yeah,
they
no.
would. Nope.
I'm talking about like those straight to video 1990s, like American Ninja, American Samurai, all those type of.
Yeah, they would beat them.
All right, who would win? Double Dragon versus Peacemaker.
Peacemaker would shoot them in the face. It's like flip a coin and shoot him before he gets down.
Wow.
I was like, I'll take these amulets now, thank you.
What do you got, Josh? Anything else on your list? Because I got like 5 more damn things. All right, well, throw me out a negative one. I'll see if I agree.
I don't have a negative one.
You have
I have
positive?
this is my last one.
Okay.
It's my in-between. I
In-betweener.
don't know if I like it or hate it.
We can help you fix that.
So, released in 2022, original game was in 2007. The movie is Uncharted. If you don't know what it is, think
Spider-Man without
male-
actual suit.
we'll just think male Laura Croft
With Mark Wahlberg.
with Mark Wahlberg and Tom Holland. 6.3 out of 10 on IMDb. So I actually went back today and rewatched it because I'm so torn on how I feel about it.
You know, I understand why you're torn, because on surface level, if this movie's just on and you're not looking for a very deep emotional story or a story that's going to grip you like Indiana Jones and The Last Crusade, it's just a fun movie. This is what you want in a popcorn movie. It's not super deep, but it's not really flaky. I mean, there is a story about his brother, Mark Wahlberg.
But you don't really get much of it.
I think they planned on a sequel, isn't what my guess here was. But you get Mark Wahlberg kind of playing a mean guy, but sort of playing a sweet guy. Is he a bad guy?
Which, again, if you knew the games, you immediately recognize the name, you know exactly who he's going to be.
And I didn't.
If you didn't play the games, this had like zero face value because it was just another Indiana Jones meets Lara Croft. Who cares? Oh, it's Tomb Raider. It was riding on Tom Holland's famous Spider-Man.
Absolutely.
However, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I looked at this movie and I thought, hey, it's Spider-Man without the suit and the webs.
Now I get that reference.
Yeah.
I think my biggest issue with it was that the games have an incredibly detailed narrative. Like, it's very well thought out, the adventure you go through.
It's a big franchise, a lot of fans.
And it was, I think it would have been extremely difficult to push that into an hour-and-a-half movie. Hour and 40, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
Isn't this
maybe
the one
even 2
everybody
hours?
wanted Nathan Fillion to do?
Yes,
Yeah.
because Nathan Fillion has done different dress-ups as Nathan Drake.
Yeah, I watched Castle.
But, I love Castle. But people have said that he's too old. They wanted a younger,
He is getting up there a bit now.
So Tom Holland as Nathan Drake didn't feel natural to me. Now, okay, he's a great actor, but he didn't feel like Nathan Drake from the games.
I'll
And
agree with you because I didn't play the games and I didn't think he was Nathan Drake.
I understand they were doing this as his origin story, but even the first Uncharted game didn't feel this green. Do you know what I mean?
I understand.
It felt too much like a street kid who does parkour getting thrown into a way over the top adventure that he has no right being in, but it's okay because he knows history and he's able to figure out every puzzle.
This was like National Treasure
Yes.
meets Lara Croft, meets Indiana Jones, meets parkour. Was there any parts of this movie that you enjoyed at all, John?
No.
No action, no, not even like he's falling from the plane, nothing.
I
no,
don't
the
like-
puzzles, just none of it.
So watching my kid
he's
try to play
bartending?
it, I like play the game. I wasn't into the game, and then trying to watch the movie, I'm like, I just couldn't get into it.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I understand they took a lot of creative liberties with it, and you have to go game to TV, movie, whatever. But it was 2022. We have the technology. When you're hanging on cargo nets, hanging out the back of a plane, you can't jump to the next one. You're moving at like hundreds of miles.
That's not how inertia works.
Right. I mean, it was a cool way to start the movie. I went into it with high hopes. I went into it again today with high hopes. And I don't know. I mean, like I said,
background movie.
Unless you were very familiar with the games, it definitely fell into the background. Like, it didn't stand out at all. All of this said, it was a fun movie. I enjoyed it in the sense of I put it on a side monitor at work and didn't really pay that much attention to it, but I still knew what was going on because it was incredibly predictable.
Even though I've seen this scene 1,000 times, and not from this movie, from other movies, when he's in is it an auction? You always see like there's some shenanigans happening and they gotta jump around and, oh, are they gonna get caught, not caught? Like, even though I'd seen that in 100 different movies before, I thought it was well done here. I think it's things
absolutely.
like that they give you hope about this movie.
Well, and I did read too that I guess
And there's
Tom
other
Holland,
scenes that are just boring as hell.
I guess he insists on doing a lot of his own stunts.
Yeah.
So a lot of like him hanging there and like, I mean, he's holding the chandelier in that.
Must be the next Tom Cruise.
Well, he's holding the chandelier in that beginning part, and they're
Let's hope he doesn't go the crazy route, but all right.
well, they're vertical shafts. Do you know how hard that is to hold yourself up on something like that? I watch American Ninja Warrior and stuff. Most of those guys can't do it.
Dude, you guys ever see the one where the chimpanzee does it?
No.
The Ninja Warrior? Yeah. Chimpanzee destroys the course.
Did you ever see the one where the streaker does it? He gets all the way to the end, but he can't get up the wall.
Yeah.
If you listen to the commentary, it's hysterical.
Right.
You know he's got brush burn on that one.
No, like he jumps up and it's one of those like the parallel walls where you got to put your feet on both sides. And the guy's like, oh, I did not need to see that. But I gotta say, my absolute favorite part of the entire movie that made it worthwhile was, again, spoilers. He falls out of the airplane, gets back into the airplane, gets run over by a car coming out of the airplane. Him and the chick are walking up on the beach, and the one guy's like, oh, you look like hell. And he's, what happened to you? And he says something like, fell out of a car that was falling out of an airplane or something like that. And the guy's like, I had something like that happen to me before. That was the voice actor of the original Nathan Drake.
Oh,
yes. I did.
As soon as I saw that, I recognized the voice, and I'm like, okay, that is amazing.
Physics work different in that universe.
Oh, yeah.
Comedy works the same.
Oh, yeah. But a 6.3 out of 10, lower than Need for Speed.
That's harsh.
Yeah, it is harsh.
Yeah.
I mean, I would watch it again, but like I said, as you know, like you said, you throw it on the side, or it's a popcorn movie.
Yeah, you're sitting there, you're playing Pokemon on your phone, then you look up and go, oh, shit, it's that part. Okay, and then you go back.
Yeah, you need something to watch, put it on. I do think they could have done a lot if they had a sequel to it. I don't think we'll ever get one.
No, I don't think so either.
But who knows? Maybe they'll reboot it one day.
I know my next pick does have a couple sequels.
It's not
Are they good or not? I have absolutely no idea.
Not House of the Dead, is it?
That had sequels? Oh, my Lord.
Unfortunately, yes.
That movie's horrible. No, I'm talking about Hitman from 2007. I love this movie. I don't care what anybody says. Timothy Olyphant in this movie was awesome. Dougray Scott, Olga Kurylenko has been in a lot of things, and she's always good in whatever she's in. I like this. Timothy Olyphant as Agent 47 is he's a badass in this movie. And yes, I did see the sequel, and that dude's a badass too, and he's more enhanced and whatever. But Timothy Olyphant has this coldness to him. Maybe it's because I watch a lot of Justified. I don't know, but he's got this badassness to him that he doesn't even look that intimidating. He kind of, he's got a bald head in here and remind me a little bit of Soldier, but I didn't play the games. I heard that they're really fun, that they're hard. Heard that some of them are super hard. Even though it wasn't even that original of like a Russian spy plot, I still enjoyed it. I like watching him beat the shit out of people. I don't care if it was faithful to the game like people say or not. I enjoyed it. Did either of you said you played the VR, did you ever play
the games?
Yeah, the games.
Yeah, I played the games.
Did you watch the movie?
Sadly.
I
did not care for it.
You didn't care for it. Why didn't you care for it?
I don't know. I feel like it took away from the real essence of the game.
Was the second one better?
No. I don't think
because
so.
I heard they changed the character in the second one to make it more like the character in the game.
Well, they may have failed on that apparently. So
the thing for me was in the game, you don't just run in. Like you take your time, you figure out how you're gonna do it, and you really take your time.
It's like Sniper Elite. You got to like really
you got to plan it out. You got to time it.
Cell,
especially in the newer Hitman games, especially like there's 100 ways you can finish a mission.
Yep.
And I just felt in the movie, they went into it already like pre-planned. Here's what's going to happen. They didn't ever show any of the planning or the like real improvising stuff like that.
Okay.
And it didn't feel like a Hitman to me. It was a good, okay movie. It just didn't feel like a
Do you think it would have been a good movie if they would have taken away the barcode deal on his head and just like given him hair and he just would have been like a badass assassin, like another Jason Statham just go in there and kill people? Sure. If it wasn't Agent 47?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was just the issue that you guys have is that it was...
For me, it just didn't feel like the game.
Okay.
See, I never got to see the movie. I just played the game, and like he was saying about like having the multiple ways, like one of the missions is you have to take out some drug dealer, and he's in some type of like party that's going on. I had to wait to figure out the best way to do it without guards. He managed to go into the bathroom. I just swirled him until he died. So I'm like, this is gonna work, okay, and then walked out and good.
I accidentally killed somebody in one of the games once. I knocked him into a hippo pit, and the hippo ate him. Didn't know that could happen.
Don't be messing with no hippos.
Yeah,
there's so many different ways you can do it, and it's just like
I should play. Would I have?
I think you would actually like.
You would like.
I liked Splinter Cell. I did play that on the original Xbox.
Like if you just rush in and try and like
you'll get wasted.
Kill
easily.
people and just do
I
it.
like to sneak around.
No, you have to like the one mission in the newer games is a fashion show, and here's the dude you got to kill. But like you walk around that show for like a half an hour, figuring out exactly where people are, what their walk path is.
Like
how
you are
can you
part
get
of
him?
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
how do you get him alone? Like you have to figure it all out. It's a good game.
No wonder everybody says these games are so hard.
There's a lot of thought to this, and it's just like this is a fun puzzle. It's
So
a
not
bloody
just a
puzzle.
mass shooter. Like you got a plan.
Well, but then the other thing is, once you succeed,
Then you got to get out.
you got to get out. Like
Because
there's one. It's an assassination on a yacht. Yeah, you can do it all day long, but if you can't get off the boat, you fail.
Yep.
Okay. I might look into this if I ever play a game again. Do you have anything else on your list, John?
Not like my list is pretty much
Anything on your list?
Honorable mentions and lightning round.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say a movie.
I'm ticking them off as you guys say them too, so thanks.
That's
Off my lightning round.
We did a lot of movies here. Didn't do a whole lot of TV shows other than The Witcher, but what about Halo? I love, and it's season 2 is about to drop.
Yeah,
I love Halo season 1. I don't give a shit if he takes his helmet off. I don't care.
John does.
No, I don't.
You don't?
Oh, no.
Love
I
Halo.
love the whole concept of Halo.
I thought I was gonna hate this show, and I was like, this show is brutal. This show is just top notch.
There were a
Dude
few
gets his head
points.
blown off in the first episode.
There were a few points where it was a little bit slow, but they were setting it up.
Yeah.
And well, somebody eventually has to talk, I guess.
I mean, the action, like you said, like the very first episode with the was it like the oxygen mining, whatever.
Yeah.
These kids run into a Covenant ship and just get like practically slaughtered.
Yeah.
I mean, it
Just
set the
disintegrated.
tone, and then they come in and start just destroying the town, and then the Spartans drop in, and I'm sitting there like, this is the game that I remember.
What is it called? The Flood, the thing that comes out of the ship that just annihilates everybody?
Yeah.
Like that was
the zombie virus enemies.
yeah, like they're like worm things or something. That
Oh no, like it's a whole bunch of worms that make it up.
yeah.
No, that's not the Flood.
The Flood are the zombie people.
Yeah.
So what was that part?
What were they called?
Oh no.
I'm gonna tell you. Well, you guys are thinking about it. So I never really played the games, shocker, but I did play a handful of times, and one of them was with our buddy Johnny here. Now, the very first Halo, he's this guy. Follow me, shoots, kills people. I shoot maybe one person, kill him. Follow me, and he knows the maps, he knows where he's going, he knows the whole mission. I get stuck in a hallway for 15 real time minutes. Every time I respawn, John just kills me.
Wow.
Just as John
Spawn
thinks,
killing.
or I think John's gonna let
I
me
gave
come
him
out
time
of
to-
this
to
hallway.
recoup.
He just kills me again.
No, spawn
For 15
killing.
minutes, he just kept killing me and killing me and killing me.
I gave him a solid minute in between
Maybe
each
John's
one.
the reason I don't play video games.
Sounds like it.
I think John ruined it for me. That's why I don't play GTA Online, because people just kill me all the time.
The creatures that were made up of like hundreds of worms
Yeah,
were the hunters.
the hunters.
That was just
Well, they
part
were
of the Covenant.
sick, and I don't like wormy
the
type.
Flood hasn't come into the series yet.
Okay,
Not that I
I can't wait
remember.
till
No, I don't think they have yet.
That was like playing. I think it was Halo. It was Halo 1 when you're going through like basically abandoned compound, and these little things are like skittering around.
It's like, the hell is that?
Dude, as a kid, I remember my heart was like in my throat. Like,
So we've all pretty much a consensus here that we love the TV show.
that was
How
crap.
do we feel about the translation from the game to the show? Is it a faithful translation?
In aspects.
Yeah, I was gonna say in aspects, I'd agree with that because
It looks like Master Chief,
but like
right?
when they're first coming into it, like you don't really get a lot of backstory on Master Chief in the very beginning of the game. It's just you get a guy that comes out, he's wearing Spartan armor, and like it's just like, hey, we're gonna activating you to kick ass.
Do you think so? Which Halo wasn't out before Soldier from Kurt Russell, right? Because I feel like they kind
No.
of took some cues here.
Soldier was long before that.
Yeah, that was
I
long.
feel like they took this John. His name is John in the show, right? It's John?
Yeah.
I feel like, and I'm pretty sure Soldier's name might have been John. I feel like just a really, maybe they could have been related or something. There are a lot of connective tissue as far as maybe that's not the right term. The same characteristics, kind of just raised to be a soldier and to not feel pain and not feel emotions.
Soldier was 1998, and the first Halo came out in 01. So it's pretty close.
I wonder if the people that came up with Halo, or even the people that came up with the movie,
Like fans of the
TV
Super
show.
Soldier idea.
yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Well, they'd have to be. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was my next pick, Halo. I think it's great, and I can't wait for season 2. And you guys are gonna be watching it soon, I hope. It's on Paramount Plus, which I don't have, so I'm gonna have to come up with some alternate means or drop some more money.
Yeah.
As long as we stay legal, we're good. Gotta stay legal.
Yeah.
Legal Eagles. What about that Five Nights at Freddy's? You guys watch that yet?
No, my kid plays it like all the time. I'd rather not have to watch it. I get
was
enough
good.
of it on games.
It
I'm
was
like,
good.
nope.
It killed. It made a lot of money. A lot of money.
Yeah. What's his, Josh Hutchinson or whatever?
Yeah, and Matthew Lillard.
Yep.
Yep, bringing him back. I can't remember the cop's name, but she did. Mary Stuart Masterson plays Aunt Jane, so that's not who I was thinking of. Elizabeth Lale plays Vanessa, local police officer. She was pretty cool. I was afraid that because I saw some screenshots and a little bit of the trailer, I was like, it looks weird because
Yeah.
the way the game is done, and I played the VR with your kid, but somehow they took that weird art style and they bring it in here. It's PG-13, but there's like some hard PG-13 gore scenes of these animatronics. There's a short a couple years ago about this kid who gets eaten by an animatronic. It was like one of those Hulu Halloween shorts. And I was like, man, I recognize that thing. I am young enough to where I went to Showbiz Pizza before Chuck E. Cheese. And they repurposed the main Showbiz Pizza bear guy for that short. Now, there was a movie, Nicolas Cage a year or two ago, where he gets contracted to, car breaks down, and he has to go wait for his car to be done overnight. So he goes into this like pizza joint and he has to clean, and then things start to try to kill him. And I was like, isn't this Five Nights at Freddy's? And then here we go, like 2 years later, a year and a half later, they come out with this movie, Wild Willie's Adventure, something like that. It's called Nicolas Cage. It's it's blood, it's rated R. It is fucking gory as hell. Check it out. It's very fun.
Definitely.
But Five Nights at Freddy's, you guys didn't see it yet. I recommend that you do. And if whoever's listening, if you're a horror fan, I mean, it's not Hellraiser, it's not going to be one of those classic ones, but I think it deems a sequel. And I went in there thinking this is going to be garbage. And it was not garbage. It wasn't. There's some good death scenes. And I mean, the stories by the numbers, from what I understand, it's like the game. But is it? I don't know. I don't really play the game. You'll have to ask your kid. That's my last one. That's all I got.
It's a 5 out of 10.
5 out of 10? That's pretty decent, though. Because, I mean, does IMDb have anything that's over an 8 out of 10 on it, really?
Not lately,
Not that I've ever
no.
seen.
I don't think I've ever seen anything over like really a 9.5 or anything like that.
I don't know. I'm not on there much.
Roadhouse.
Hey, dude.
Listen, Sweezy.
I'm going to check it out for sure. I watched Roadhouse a lot, and it might have been because of the sex scene. I don't know. I was a young kid, dude. I was a young kid.
You gonna watch the new one?
Hell yeah.
It's in March, I believe. Was it Jake Gyllenhaal?
Yeah. Conor McGregor's in it.
Really?
A couple months ago, Jake Gyllenhaal was at one of the UFC events, and they taped his octagon thing. Like, they faked his entrance and everything for the movie because he's a former cage fighter.
Yeah.
In the thing. They never really say in the original what Dalton really did before. I don't believe.
From
I
what
thought he was just military.
Well, no, because I think he was just a bouncer that just that worked with.
Yeah, but how do you get to become such a badass? Like to learn all.
Well, I mean,
that
he was
moves?
friends with Sam Elliott. What do you
Yeah, I
think's gonna happen?
mean,
Hurts, don't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that movie. It's so good. Lightning round.
Dude, it's actually on IMDb. It's a 6.7, but it's showing it's raising in popularity to its 57th in the movies.
nice.
Everybody should see Roadhouse.
It is a good
Everybody.
movie. 1989.
Because of that movie, I just want to swerve in the road all the time. Be like, do-do, jadoo, jadoo-be-doo-boo-be-doo. You know?
I used to do that on my motorcycle. You know, like going over the mountain. There's those dots, like stay so many dots apart. I'd be like, in and out of them.
Just figurating.
Right?
Every time I
Serpentine.
Yeah. The Prometheus School of Driving.
Charlize Theron, she does like the infomercial for it.
Just drive in a straight line. Nothing bad can happen.
Crunch.
All right, lightning round. Let me take Halo off. So
How's this gonna
real,
work?
real simple. I've only got 6 of them on here now because I had 10, but you guys kept naming them.
You're welcome.
I throw it out there. Tell me, like it, hate it, why? Give me your 1 to 10 rating. Ready? Michael, we'll start with you. World of Warcraft, the movie.
Only saw it once. Rating, I would give it a 6.5 out of 10. I thought it was a decent fantasy movie. Never played the game.
Hated it. I liked the game, but like I give it a 5.
5.
5.
CGI, anything at all you can say good about it?
I mean, the CGI was good, but other than
No
that,
hot orc chicks that you thought were...
nope.
No?
I
It's not Baldur's Gate, sorry.
This isn't lightning round stuff, but I thought the CGI was just as good as what we got in She-Hulk.
Yeah, oh yeah,
So-
absolutely.
so there's that.
Absolutely. Max Payne, the movie with Mark Wahlberg.
And I go first, right?
Absolutely.
Suck. I do like the Marilyn Manson song.
Tell me how you really
the
feel.
vampire song, and it even he's a piece of shit, but I do like that song. If
Who,
I
Marilyn
was your
Manson?
vampire, yeah, Marilyn Manson, yeah, he's not a very good guy. Mark Wahlberg, I just need a paycheck, I guess. That movie's horrible.
Hard pass.
Hard pass? Why?
Hard pass. Not a fan of like the games. Did not like the movie.
4 out of
Really?
10, by the way. 4 or 5 out of 10.
Oh, you gave it more than I did. It'd be a 3.
Hey, just so you know, that's still more than Street Fighter. A 3.
Mm-hmm.
Man, you didn't like the games at all? You didn't like Bullet Time, all that fun jazz? Way
Negative.
before The Matrix?
I never played them.
Negative.
Oh, man. All right, Doom.
I liked Doom. Now it has its issues. Some of the special effects. I saw it in the theater with The Rock and everybody. I thought it was a cool, fun movie. I almost put it on my list. I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10. I mean, it definitely has its issues, but I think it's a fun movie.
All right.
I'm a
all
horror
right.
guy, so John.
Hated the movie. Loved the game. I felt you got more out of the game than you did out of the movie, and
I
it's
feel like the game you're just going around a maze all the time shooting things.
I mean, some of the newer ones you get a little bit more and like
never
more
played
intricate in that.
The newer ones. Never really played the old one either.
Battleship. Oh, yeah, that became a game.
Overloaded
movie.
CGI movie.
Mm.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10. It had potential. A lot of good actors in it. Just it's a CGI fest. It's a Michael Bay. Did Michael Bay do this?
Probably.
Has
I feel like
explosions,
it's a
so
Michael Bay
probably.
type movie. So I don't need to watch it again.
Whopping 0. Hated it. I enjoy playing the games. because-
0 out of 10.
0 out of
What do you
10.
mean 0 out of?
I hate that movie.
Okay. All right.
And
Here,
IMDb.
I would
John
soon-
hates Rihanna.
We'll call this JMDB, John's Movie Database.
Yep.
A lot of zeros on here.
Yeah.
If I want to see that, I'll like watch my kid play World of Warships online.
And I just thought of a couple extras, actually. Far Cry. That's right. They made a movie.
I never watched the movie.
That's probably because it was so
Vampire is it a
bad.
vampire thing?
No, Far Cry.
Far
The
Cry.
game is like you're on an island or whatever. There's a bunch of them. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, did that even come out yet?
Oh yeah, it's 2008, man.
Oh shit. Well, I don't know. Unfamiliar. We have those games. I bought Emily one of those. I know what game you're talking about now. I didn't know they made a show or a movie or any. I didn't know.
There was a movie for it. Ex-Special Forces soldier
Who's in
turned
it?
boatman is hired by a journalist to investigate a top-secret military base on a nearby island. Jack Carver, played by Till Schweiger. Bunch of names that I don't know. It's a 3.2 out of 10.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, I have to abstain from this vote because I have never played the games or seen the
Okay.
movie, so I can't give it a good or bad rating. It
Alright.
would be unfair to the movie.
How gentleman of you.
I'm not gonna trash something I haven't seen, Michael.
Prince of Persia with Jake Gyllenhaal.
I thought it was fun when I saw it on rewatch. It's not as fun. 6 out of 10.
Same rating. Like I like the games. The movie wasn't like terrible, but I'm not gonna like stop if I'm like if it's on screen and I'm like flipping through the channels. I'm like, yeah, we're gonna take a pass on that.
Was Prince of Persia before Assassin's Creed? Or they
Yeah,
around
I
the
think it
same
was. Yeah, it
time?
was
No, it was before. It was on older consoles.
So I feel like
PlayStation
Assassin's Creed
2.
because of Prince of Persia, aren't they like the same damn thing?
They were both made by Ubisoft, I believe.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
one survived the sands of time.
There was a.
Dum-dum.
Oh.
I feel like that movie had like some bad CGI at times, though.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, another Anderson movie, Monster Hunter, just came out. I think last year, or the year before.
It was better than I thought it was going to be. Mila Jovovich is in it.
I will say, is so ridiculously not the game.
As soon as what's his name? Big foreheaded guy, Hellboy. Great actor though.
Ron Perlman.
Ron Perlman. As soon as he gets in there and I see what he's wearing, I was like, oh, this is the movie we're watching.
Alien
Okay.
Resurrection.
Okay. It was good in the movie. Yeah, that movie, dude, it's got a, I don't know what the games are, but I think that movie has a good like premise and idea, but the follow through, once they get out of the desert and they're like the ship goes through the sand, I'm like, what
It
the
was
fuck?
definitely a rough start.
They-
It was rough the whole way
There's
through.
a lot of good
I was gonna
ideas
say,
in that
you're
movie
being
that
generous.
Don't go where they should. Like when the special forces guys are facing against the dragon at the end, the dragon deal. That was cool. Like just eating helicopters and shit. That was cool. But I'm gonna give it a 5 out of 10.
John,
Like the game, hated the movie. Like
you're
you were
a tough
saying,
one.
like you were saying, it was not following like the game at all.
I never played the game, so I didn't give a shit.
I like Ron Perlman, but he wasn't enough to save this movie.
He was just playing like every other character.
Exactly. It's just like he was just there to say, hey, here's this awesome actor. Let's put him in this movie. And that's where you're getting your money from.
All right, me the next Kurgan. Go ahead.
Last one.
Last
He would
one.
make a good Kurgan.
Yeah.
Last one. I'm torn on it. I don't know if it's a good movie or a really bad movie.
We'll tell you. I know what John's gonna say.
Probably gonna be crap.
Silent Hill.
Ooh.
Silent Hill was on my list for a minute.
Yep.
I like what's the dude with the big pyramid head?
Yeah.
Like, that part was cool. It drags on. The person I was seeing it with, they found it scary or something. I was like, this movie's mildly boring as shit.
Yeah.
The second one's got Sean Bean in it.
Mm.
I don't know if he was in the first
Sure, it's
one.
not
at all,
Sean
but-
Penn or Sean William Scott.
Sean William Scott. I know who he is. Yeah, the movies.
Did
there's
he
a lot
die in this
that it
movie
wants to
too?
do, and I don't know if it's faithful or not to the games. I've seen clips. 5 out of 10.
I actually enjoyed that movie.
Really?
Yep. I mean, it's not something I would stop to watch again, but I mean, as I was watching it, I'm like, all right, playing the video games, watching the movie, all right.
Faithful to the games?
Not in the slightest.
No.
It was something like I'm like, okay, I could watch this. It had like its gory parts.
So they
like,
fixed it in
so.
part 2 then.
I wouldn't go that far.
It's about as much as Hitman.
They have a TV show coming
Yeah.
out. don't
Yeah.
they?
Yeah, I did see
Silent Hill, the TV show. So maybe it'll be better.
I mean, the story is a little convoluted. I mean,
This was
it's-
riding off the coattails of Resident Evil.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and you know what? One that I completely forgot about.
Naomi
I'll
Watts?
throw it in as a bonus.
Yeah.
Twisted Metal.
Oh,
I have not watched it.
Oh, you haven't seen it yet?
No, I've heard. I don't want no spoilers for me on here.
I don't feel that it followed.
Loa Joe?
So I don't
Champion?
feel it followed the game, but all I'll say, no spoilers, is I feel like it sets up at the end to be a lot more like the game, more of the competition. That's all I'll say.
agreed.
All right,
Like,
well,
I like the game. and
Everybody dies.
Sweet Tooth is. I'd say they played the Sweet,
Sweet Tooth is
pretty,
messed
pretty
up.
close. I mean,
Like a childhood issues, daddy.
that's Samoa Joe, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me throw out just a couple real quick, and you tell me if they're good or not.
Is this honorable
these
mention?
are not. These are sort of honorable mentions. Free Guy. Now it's just a video game movie. Good or bad?
good. I loved it.
Fantastic.
Fantastic.
That
I would like to see a game made from that movie.
yes,
Ready Player One.
loved it.
10 out of 10.
Okay.
The book is fantastic. The book sequel, not quite as fantastic, but it's still pretty darn high up there.
Wreck-It Ralph.
Loved it. Loved the
Loved it.
game.
Got to play
The original.
actual
Fix It
Fix It
Felix.
Felix Jr. at the what's it called? The Strong Museum of Play up in New York. They have an actual Fix It Felix Jr.
Oh, that's
for a quarter, and right next to it, like off to the side, 2 machines down, is the original racing game that
Oh, okay.
that
Turbo
Turbo.
That needed to be Von Sweet.
No,
That.
no, Turbo, the big villain.
Yeah.
His
So the
game.
one that he came from. No,
Yeah.
I was just throwing it.
Sadly, I don't think Candy Crush, Sugar Race, whatever it
Sugar
was.
Rush.
I don't think it was a real game.
Or, yeah.
I looked for it. I did.
War Games from the 80s.
Absolutely loved that movie.
I love the movie. I wasn't a big fan of the actual game for the PlayStation.
Clue.
I love
Talking
the movie.
1980s.
Yeah, dude, come on, that movie's funny, dude. Like,
Loved it. And fun fact, there's like 8 different endings.
Yes,
yeah.
I love that movie.
love the movie. Not a fan of the game.
Oh, I love the game.
The Wizard.
The Wizard.
You don't know this movie? Fred Savage is this little kid on the spectrum.
Yes.
And he has to go, he's going to be in this video game tournament, in this Mario tournament, and at the very end, they're like, this is the final game you're going to have to play. Him and his rival, they throw down the curtain, and it's Mario 3. It was it was Nintendo's rollout for Mario 3 was this movie.
Don't think I've ever seen that movie.
That's awesome.
It's I don't know if it's aged well, but it was fun as a kid. Jumanji / Zathura.
Of course.
I liked them both.
Yeah.
All the Jumanjis, all
Not
the
so
new
much
ones, the old ones.
Yeah, not so much the Zathura. I mean, I do like.
I thought Zathura was
just Jumanji
my
in
heart.
space.
Yeah, but Zathura got my heart. Like at the end when you find out that it's him, I'm like, oh man, come on.
That's like what, mid 90s?
Zathura, late 90s?
Was it? Yeah.
Those are 2000s, Zathura, I think.
Good movie. Very good
Pixels.
movie.
Loved it.
I didn't care much for that movie.
I did not like Pixels with Adam Sandler.
I got
Great
this.
potential.
It annoyed me. I don't know why. I did not like that one.
You see, I'm kind of biased because I got to watch that one while on a cruise when they first did the rollout for it. So I'm sitting in a jacuzzi drinking a beer while watching this on the deck.
Oh, you got to watch drunk. Okay. Well,
So I'm just like, all right, hot tub,
cruise.
alcohol.
Hear this on a
alright.
cruise, and he's not even subscribed to us. What's $10 a month to you, Mr. Cruz?
Enough.
Tron, any of them.
Pass.
Absolutely loved the original, and then the remake,
Legacy,
or
I have the soundtrack to Legacy. I think it's
the
called
newer one, Legacy. Yeah, I
Olivia
thought it was
Wilde.
horribly underrated. I thought it could have been so much better. It's just people,
Another Doctor Who guy.
well, yeah, people who weren't familiar with the original as much didn't understand it. I think. Like I thought it was well done.
I thought it was a very fun movie. I greatly enjoyed it.
I wasn't a huge fan that Tron was now technically bad,
Yeah.
but I mean everything makes sense in the end.
Well, we're getting another one.
I saw that. Yep. No Olivia Wilde though.
Yippee.
Darn. Mythic Quest.
Apple TV. I love it.
I introduced my wife to that,
Oh,
and I've never seen
man.
her laugh as hard as she did when she first
It's
saw Ian.
Ian.
Ian. Oh,
Ian.
I love that show.
So I went into it having no idea what it was. Just somebody
Me
said
either.
it's about a company making World of Warcraft.
I didn't
and I'm
even
like,
know that.
all right. And like the guy from It's Always Sunny's in it.
That's why I watched Robin
I
Kellner.
never-
That's
I
the
only
only
ever-
reason I watched it.
I watched
the
10 episodes of It's Always Sunny at best.
Nazi jail episode. Oh my god,
Well, yeah, I finally dove into it and I'm like, this is fantastic.
it's amazing.
Last Starfighter.
Staple of my childhood.
Damn straight it is.
I remember. I've seen it a couple of times. I've enjoyed what I've seen. I just can't remember.
I had the
special effects
VHS.
good?
For the time, it was better than Star Wars.
It's Babylon 5 before Babylon 5 came out. Like those
Yeah,
special
yeah.
effects.
No, I remember the
Babylon 5.
VHS. We had it. It was the dude standing at the arcade game and the light shining down above him from like the track.
I wanted to be that guy. I wanted to be the last Starfighter.
Yes.
And
Oh,
Mary Elizabeth Stewart's in it, so nothing wrong there. Brain Scan with Edward Furlong.
Never seen it.
I don't know that one.
So basically, it's a movie where Edward Furlong is a big video game player, likes horror movies and stuff. Well, he sees this ad for this video game that's supposed to be like the most immersive video game ever, and it messes with his reality. And there's like this trickster guy that like pops up in his psyche, and he's like possibly committing murders in
That's
the game.
a dude
and in
who
real
looks
life.
like really weird with the red hair.
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen
I
that.
saw it on
Yes.
Encore one night, and I was like, "What the hell am I watching?" It's fun. It's a fun movie. Battleship, you already did. Gamer with Gerard Butler
I, when it came out, thought it was
and Dexter.
one of the most fascinating movies. Like it was a really far-fetched concept, but now seeing like where VR and stuff is going, it's like, wow, that
I could see this getting these inmates in here
It's-
for our.
Gamer was
enjoyment.
basically Ready Player One, but darker.
Yeah.
It,
I
like,
enjoyed it.
I
thought it was
did.
fun.
I remember watching it. Like, that rendition of "Sweet Dreams" by Marilyn Manson in that movie. It's just absolutely amazing.
So, you know, I was going through some of this list, and I was like, man, I got to go back and watch some of these movies again. It's been years. That was good. There you go. That's all I got. That's
Well,
it.
you reminded me with The Last Starfighter. Do you remember the movie Star Kid?
Yes.
Kid.
Where he comes
Yes,
across, it's basically like an Iron Man suit that's just standing there and he gets stuck inside of it. It turns out it's organic and living. And because he's in it now,
MacGyver.
he has to,
Basically, yeah.
well,
just
he has
kid
to
version.
like fight these aliens. And oh my word,
Saw it.
it was 1996 or 7.
Yeah.
It's such a good movie. Of course,
Unfamiliar.
it's probably like a 2 out of 10, but I mean,
Think
It's just
Guyver
fun,
only
look it up.
like PG. and more comedy.
So what do you think about the future? We got Sonic 3's coming out. We got the Borderlands show, or it's either show or movie, the Fallout TV show,
Can't wait for
Halo
that.
Season 2. Are you looking for, like, what are you looking forward to in the future?
Fallout 3, the Fallout TV show.
Fallout TV show?
Yep.
It looks good. Walter Coggins.
Yep.
Walton Coggins. I always say his name wrong. I don't
You
care.
always
He's
do.
awesome.
Yeah, not so sure about Borderlands. I'm like, that game's iffy
Yeah,
at
I'm on the
best.
fence about that. Are they going to do that weird pixel style?
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But I hear that they were going towards something like the shading for it. Like they were going for like almost like the type of like coloration,
Weird.
like cartoonish. But I'm just like, I don't
We'll
know how you
see.
really pull that off. And that's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
we will see.
Sonic 3. I didn't watch Sonic 2.
My kids are
Sonic
obsessed.
1 was okay.
They love Sonic 1 and 2. So I've seen most of 2. I've seen all of 1. I guess they are going to bring Shadow into Sonic 3, which is like the
Shadow.
dark multiverse version of Sonic.
I mean, I played the shit out of Sonic as a kid on Sega. I played it a lot.
I bought, so Sega, it's I guess owned by Nintendo now or something. I bought my kids the Sonic collection on their Switch so they could play the original Sonic games. And they're always complaining, I can't beat this. Baby, welcome to my childhood.
No.
You will never get past like the ancient ruin, like Roman ruins level in Sonic.
Unless you put the cheat in and you become supersonic by downing all the freaking gems, and all of a sudden
Now-
it just flies to the whole damn level.
Start at 5 o'clock right after dinner, and then you're done at 3 o'clock in the morning when your parents go, "Why are you not in bed? Turn that off." Why are you still playing? So I think Sonic's one of the greatest games ever made.
Oh, absolutely. And like we said, after they remodeled the CGI,
Yeah.
the movie was actually really well done.
John, if you could take any video game that has not already been turned into a cartoon movie, live action movie, or TV show, what video game would you like to be turned in? Like, I mean, you have the dream director, whatever. It's already in place. What video game series do you want turned into live action?
Legacy of Kain. If you've
Ooh,
ever
Soul
played,
Reaver.
I still
Soul
have
Get that soundtrack for you back in the
Blood
day.
Omen. I still have the original PlayStation disc.
I
still
still
in
have
packaging.
that in my old Dreamcast.
Yes, I have all of them, and I would love to see
We
them.
didn't even talk about the Dead or Alive movie.
There's a reason.
Yeah, we're gonna leave that horror show out of this. But Legacy of Kain, I would love to see them redo that. But the only reason why they can't is because the owner of Silicon Knights screwed the whole thing up. He bankrupted the company and left the country, and just with the whole rights issue, they can't do anything.
So in a holodeck, you get that made.
Yep.
Josh,
It's actually happening.
what is it?
Legend of Zelda. The success of the Mario movie, that it has been greenlit that Legend of Zelda will be the next full-length movie that they're doing.
Well, they don't have to worry
It's
about
going
it.
to be like cartoon. Or it's going to be
It's going to be
digital,
same
though.
style,
Okay.
but the rumor is they are going to keep it more serious because Zelda was a more serious game. If they pull it off the way they did Mario, I think it'll be absolutely amazing.
Of course, they don't have to worry about a voice actor. The guy never talks at all.
Yes, he does. Hey, yeah.
I would say Splinter Cell.
Oh, absolutely.
Splinter Cell.
Who would you get to come in though and play Sam?
I don't know. Like you need
Dude, I played the crap out of those games. I remember.
somebody that's gruff and rough.
Do you remember Chaos Theory, where you had the co-op, you and a friend could play?
I only played the first game.
Oh, well, Chaos Theory, it could be like you and I could both play, and like we'd have to.
Time your
You
shots.
could do it yourself and carry the other player, or you could work together and like
Okay.
synchronize. Like, okay, I'm gonna go in and shut these lights off. You sneak around as soon as the lights go out, kind of like the beginning of
Oh, that
Uncharted.
sounds fun as hell.
I remember we would play it all night, restarting the level constantly till we got it perfect.
Get your shots synchronized as you're taking
Some
out
of
the
the-
guard towers.
Some of the best memories I have right there. And then here's the kicker. At the very end of that nice like co-op thing, it's, split screen. You both have your own little section, and it shows both your characters in separate parts of the airplane. You're leaving them on mission. You both get a phone, like a text thing from your headquarters saying eliminate the other player. And it immediately
Oh.
turns into you're going through this like cargo ship in and out of barrels and stuff. No armor, just a gun. It's basically a one-hit kills. Who's going to come out of the game? I'll give you a hint. I didn't.
Wouldn't me.
Turns out he's a horrible shot.
Then we found out that there's a hidden achievement. You run out the clock. Nobody, don't kill anybody. It takes like 20 minutes, I guess, but it'll actually give you an achievement for like bros before hoes type of thing. Like, yeah, we didn't play that way. I died. Yep. Great game. And then Conviction, I think it was, where not Neil Diamond. What's his name?
Well, Diamond's a singer.
Who did the song I Hurt Myself?
Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash. Thank you. Thank you.
I hurt myself
He did a
today.
the trailer was to that song, and it was basically Sam, the main character. He's older now, and he's essentially blacklisted, so to speak, and it's just, oh my
Was
word.
the one where he was in prison?
There is one.
Yeah.
I don't remember which one, but I would love to see that. Who'd you say would play him?
I didn't just say he's gotta be a gruff guy. I don't know. I'd want it to be sort of accurate to what he kind of looks like on the screen, so I'd have to do some casting thinking. I was just off the top of my head right now asking that question.
Pedro Pascal. He's playing everything.
Everything. Is there anything else you guys would like to add to this episode?
I would like to say thank you, John, for joining us.
Yes.
Well,
I think this went really well, and I had a lot of fun.
Would you come back?
yeah, sure. If the viewers would enjoy it, yeah.
The viewers, the listeners.
How the heck do we know if they enjoyed it? Nobody ever comments.
I'm trying with those socials, guys. I just did the whole thing with the Predators, and
This is
so
true.
Nobody answered.
All right, well, if you enjoyed having John on the show with us, please let us know. Hit treeofgeek.com, the contact us form. Let us know what you thought. Let us know if you agree with this list or if you hated it. Maybe we bashed the crap out of your favorite Street Fighter movie and that you just want to make it known that we're horrible human beings. Write in or comment below on YouTube. Remember, like and subscribe. If you really like what you're hearing and you want more of this kind of crap, consider subscribing to us, treeofgeek.com. Hit the help us grow, or on YouTube, there's a link in the description. You can donate $3 to $10 a month. It'll help us buy better equipment, help us figure out what the heck we're doing, and maybe one day we can move out of Michael's basement.
But I don't want to leave.
Okay, well, that saves us money. If you have ideas for future shows, let us know. We're more than open to ideas. Don't get me wrong, we have a whole list of them. We just got to figure out what the heck's going to be next. And hey, who knows? If you're a subject matter on something, maybe we'll find a way to bring you on or Skype you in, or who knows what's going to happen.
I have a possible guy in the pipeline.
Well, how about that? But I do believe that that's going to be our wrap up for the night. YouTube, if you're listening, please put us on your recommended list. As of right now, I just refreshed our page. The latest episode that's up, which was actually episode 3 of season 2, Pray Not to Be Hunted, is at 289 views in only 2 days.
Awesome.
I still think it's the picture of Forrest Gump running from a predator that did it, but
Hey,
Run,
whatever.
Jenny, run.
so as always, this is Josh saying take it easy, and I can't wait to see you guys again in a couple weeks.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for hanging out in the tree fort. Thanks for listening. You're all beautiful, and I love you all. Later.
Deuces.
Bum, bum, bum.
No, 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 no.